the only reason why I wanted to do this show because it gave me an opportunity to share the air with one of the hardest working men in boxing, the incomparable James Bell from the Boxing Source. James, how you doing, brother?
Doing all well, and yeah, I've had the thing as far as like a busy weekend last weekend going to Norfolk, so I had all that coverage for that, and then just looking at what's happening here in these fights in Egypt, man. It's been pretty eventful, so to speak, man.
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't bode well for heavyweight boxing in the American market.
Oh
Big
no.
upset in the heavyweight division. Big James, would you like to comment on the second round knockout of Frank the Cuban Flash Sanchez over Mr. Greg Brady, Richard Torres Jr. in 2 rounds, brother? Did you see that
Yeah,
coming?
no, I did not. I thought it would have been Frank Sanchez that, had been dealing with a number of injuries, to his leg and things like that. And, not having a high level competition, for a while. I thought that would show here in this bout against Richard Torres Jr. And, with Torres, having a, pretty fast start the beginning of his career and, kind of like was, very busy in a heavyweight division of sorts. I did like that, he was able to, have at least one bout after the Vianello fight when, Top Rank was going through their, transition and everything like that. So he was able to have a fight in Mexico to keep himself active. But, here against Frank Sanchez, I guess that, the level of experience or lack thereof, got the better of him there because he just it happens in the heavyweight division. Sometimes you get caught with a good punch, and he got caught with a very good punch.
Yeah, one that, and once again, every fighter and trainer insists to us that the ones that hurt the most are the ones that you don't see coming. And he ducked underneath because he was expecting a right hook. And guess what he got for his trouble? An uppercut instead. And oh
Yeah.
boy, it was lights out. He never saw that coming. And congratulations to Frank Sanchez. And yeah, dare I say, Eddie Reynoso and that Heinz 57 steak sauce that they subscribe to. Did I just say that out loud? Holy schnites. But look, we're waiting on right now, and my internet just went down for some reason. Isn't that wonderful? My Taco Bell internet, Chingao. So has that fight started between Hamza Shiraz and Alan Begic?
Not quite. You got, of course, Thomas Schreiber doing the introductions there in the ring for both of these competitors. So, they're going to be getting the instructions here pretty soon in order and before they start off the first round.
Well, I tell you what, congratulations to Thomas. He's done a stellar job so far. And and I have to say this on a personal level. I'm so proud of Thomas. He works so hard, and despite everything that he's accomplished in this business, he still works on getting better with each event. And yeah, I think it shows. He's been getting better, and he works like most people don't realize how hard he works, and he does. He's very meticulous in his preparation, and it shows. So congratulations to my brother Thomas. Congratulations to Jack El Gato Catterall for pitching a virtual shutout against Shakram Giasov. Did you see this one coming, James?
Not a virtual shutout, but I feel like Catterall would have been the better of the two. Him being in higher level fights over the course of his career. Of course, he had that first bout there against Josh Taylor, where at least I thought at the time that Catterall should have had that decision and by a good margin, but it didn't necessarily happen that way. And then we had to wait a while in order to get the rematch there. But once he had the campaign and went up to 147, he's had a couple of good performances, and here against Shakram Giasov, we fought off of his back foot, but he looked like he was the one that had been at welterweight for some time, and not Giasov. It
Mhm.
was crazy.
That's right. And right now, guys, Hamza Shiraz against Alan Begic. Um, Alan Begic looks befuddled. He is dealing with, and why on earth would you wait on Hamza Shiraz from mid to long range? You've got no chance at this range. For the guy for the gallant fighter from Munich, Germany, what should
Mhm.
he do to win this fight, James?
He has to be, aggressive, has to be on his front foot to approach. He has to be able to move his upper body in order to avoid, any of the jabs that come from Hamza Shiraz. You can't wait on Hamza Shiraz to get his offense going because if you're not, used to being a good counterpuncher and scouting what Hamza Shiraz does once he throws a jab, then you're gonna be in for a long night, and that's what it's looking like here right now
Yeah,
for Alan Bennett.
just 2 minutes into the first round. Yeah, Hamza is having his way. It looks like target practice or a light day of sparring right now for Hamza.
Yeah.
And can you believe that Ring Magazine has him only ranked number 10 in their super middleweight rankings at 168?
Oh man, that is crazy. You,
Behind
you,
Diego Pacheco.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
shocking. Shocking, dude. But hey, after this, well, look, I'll say this. Maybe they want Canelo to pick on him if he gets past Christian and Bealey.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if they would go towards Hamza Shiraz
Ah,
after a bout
well, look,
against
it's
Christian.
Canelo Alvarez's world. We're all just paying rent. And he's the one who decides, guys. He's the man still. And there's no doubt about that. Hold on. Uh, Jesus, welcome to the show, sir. And he says, Joe, I say Torres was doing good, but Sanchez kept targeting the right hand. He did. He was.
Yep.
And here to there. Welcome, sir. Good of you to join us. Says, Top Rank doesn't see many of their big process get taken out like that. No, they don't. No,
No.
they don't. And he says Torres was sloppy, got caught squaring up. Well, look, that's what happens when you try to be aggressive and close a distance. You have
Yep.
to square up. Unfortunately, he wasn't looking at that right hand coming in, that at least right uppercut, right? He
Yeah.
just
Right
wasn't
up.
looking for it. Uh, geez. And and Jesus says, did Sanchez expect Torres to bend his knee, the usual target? Um, Maybe so. Maybe he did his homework. He had enough time to prepare. How many camps was this fight? At least,
I mean, it had to be a couple because they were supposed to fight on March 28th in Las Vegas. Part of that, what it was, the Thurman card with Sebastian Fundora.
yep.
But then, it got rescheduled because of the injury to Sanchez. So, um, but this, I guess it worked out there for Frank Sanchez.
So Begic now closing the distance, but yeah, not in this. Look,
Yeah,
Hamza is a complete fighter.
yeah,
Pick your poison. How do you want to get your ass whooped? Right?
yeah,
He's like, dude, that's what makes him so dangerous. And to be honest with you, and I really like Canelo's um choice in picking Christian and Bealey. Credit to him. He's never avoided the smoke unless you're David Benavidez. But we all saw on May 2nd why he's purposely been avoiding David Benavidez, James.
yeah. If you can't if you're not at the point where you could hurt your opponent, and we haven't seen that really from Canelo Alvarez in his last four fights. Add to that, Benavidez is clearly the bigger fighter.
Oof.
Like there won't be, much that Canelo could do there in the ring against someone like Benavidez. And he, of course, Canelo doesn't move like he used to. So,
Look,
oh boy,
going to the fight happening in the ring, is Begic doing anything to win?
nope.
I'm trying to figure out what his plan is.
I
And it's
don't
like, dude,
know.
what are you trying to do?
I don't know, but he's getting beat up. He's getting
He looks
beat
like a
up.
pinata. out of
Oh man,
quinceanera.
he's a punch. He's a
That's
moving
what he looks
punching
like.
bag.
Dude, Hamza
Oh,
is kicking his ass. And dude, you can see it in his face from here. He
yeah.
looks like he's
Oh,
already packing it in. Am I wrong,
well,
James?
he better pack it in as soon as possible, or he's gonna get packed up.
Look, Hamza's walking to him with his arms down. Oh my gosh, dude. Begic has no chance. Who gave this ham and egger a shot at this on this card? Like, I'm serious. Like, this is ridiculous. Who put this
Hey,
together on this card?
WPO super title.
Oh, just go. Just go away, Begic. It's done. It's done. That's it. It's over, guys. Oh my gosh. Like, dude. Hey, thanks for playing, Alan. What do you do for an encore, brother?
You don't have one. That's what. Oh my god.
Oh, geez. Hamza Shiraz makes light work, and someone. Well, it's Egypt. They don't drink over there. They don't party.
Yeah.
Hamza Shiraz is going to be celebrating tonight, making light work. Does he even look like he was in a fight?
No.
No. I tell you what, guys. Canelo Alvarez ringside, and he's saying, and he's sitting with his longtime nemesis, Gennady Golovkin. It's good to
Mm-hmm.
see them side by side. Uh, yeah. Alan Begic, thanks for playing, brother. Jeez.
Hey, here's a couple of uppercut sandwiches for you.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Well, so much for providing commentary for this fight. Can you
Yeah.
even call it a fight, James?
No, you can't.
A one-sided demolition at the hands of Hamza Shiraz and a guy the German looking for a soft place to lie down.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, Chingao. Well, that was a light workout for Hamza Shiraz and a paid advertisement for him and his brand.
Yeah.
But don't look for Canelo Alvarez picking on this guy anytime soon.
Nope.
So how does Hamza fare against the class of the 168-pound weight division, aka Lester Martinez, Jaime Munguia, Christian Mbili? How does he fare against those guys? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave out Osleys Iglesias.
Rosales Iglesias. That would be a really interesting bout between Iglesias and Hamza Shiraz, because we know that and Billy and Iglesias are teammates in a sort. So you're not gonna see them two step in the ring unless as they say, both of them win all the belts. You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, that's true.
so
Look, I'm getting really tired of guys of this generation, specifically Shakur Stevenson, say, you know what, y'all can say what you want, but I'm not going to fight my brother, Keyshawn Davis. That's BS. Look, in years past, eras past, in healthier eras of boxing, champions gave their friends life-changing opportunities and life-changing paydays, because it's just business, and it's good business if the fans want it. What's going on in the minds of these snowflakes that we call prize fighters these days?
man, I don't understand it. I mean, I've said it multiple times over. If Mayweather and Judah could fight each other, if Adrian Broner and Sean Porter could fight each other, and there have been other instances, hey, Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. These guys are not sworn enemies. They're friends. They went up in the amateurs and stuff like that, together around that time frame. So, and listen, if we end up being the best, fighters within our division, eventually we're going to face each other. And so we just made it happen and made sure that the money made sense, and we made it happen.
Once again, if the fans, the real bosses of boxing, demand it, you have no choice. And also, why wouldn't you want to give your friend a big time payday and an opportunity at the brass ring? If anyone's going to take the title from you, why wouldn't you want it to be one of your friends?
Hmm.
This is what boxing was always built on, opportunities to the most deserving. Whether or not you were stablemates, friends, sparring partners, who gives a shit? And look, pardon my French, guys. With that said, guys, please go subscribe to my religious spiritual channel, God's Perfect Love Ministry. We just surpassed 20,000 subscribers. Join me on my spiritual quest and a more intimate relationship with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thanks be to God. And there's my gratuitous plug for my other channel. Thank you very much. But James, look, what are your thoughts on Canelo picking on Christian Mbili at this time? Is this going to prove to be too much for him?
I don't think so, because my thing is, I feel like this fight has been planned since the beginning of the year. Once and Billy was named the WBC champion, that was like before the end of January, and so once Canelo felt like he would be ready to get back into it, he he looked like he was going to aim for someone like Billy, because the style of Billy is one to where and Billy is active with his hands, but it's not like he's very sharp with his hands. So it gives Canelo the opportunity to land good counters. So it's almost like how Jaime Munguia was, when he fought Jaime Munguia. So I think that's why he went with that first, instead of like a fighter like a maybe I don't know, Oslace or Glaciers, if he had to wait on that fight, that or Glaciers to be the IBF champ or somebody else. You know what I mean? So I think this
Hold
was the one that he kind of like picked.
on, Big James. I love Jesus, man. He says, I see Mbili winning easily all day. Any fake Nello era, but fight has to be real. Come on, dude. Come on. Look, say what you want about Canelo Alvarez. If he's in his prime, and you never know with that Canelo Reynoso 57 steak sauce. You never know. But this style matchup is favorable to Canelo Alvarez. You can't deny that. But my biggest quandary for Canelo is he going to be able to handle the nonstop pressure from start to finish at this juncture of his career, James?
I think he would be able to, but I think it's going to be more about how he puts his punches together to Billy, and it's going to be sharper than what Billy has been able to have over the course of his career. I mean, in the last bout that he had against Lester Martinez there at Legion Stadium, like he did deal with a good little bit there against Lester Martinez, and at least for me, I feel like Lester won that fight. But
I thought he won that fight as well.
yeah, so
But then
now he's going to
again,
be
both guys fight exactly the same way, Lester and Christian. They
yeah.
both have unlimited gas tanks and they fight one way from start to finish. And can Canelo handle that kind of pressure at this juncture of his career? I don't know, guys. And that's what makes this an intriguing fight. And credit to Canelo for making this Mexico versus the world September 12th.
Hmm.
I love it. And amen. Credit to him for not going out like a snowflake at, dare I say, snowflake liberal at this juncture of his career. Yes, I said it. And speaking of snowflake liberals, someone who doesn't like snowflake liberals, we're going to say hello to my dear friend, Big Luke, who's listening to the broadcast from Pennsylvania. God bless you, my friend. And he says, 20,000 subscribers. Yes, to God Perfect Love Ministry. Thanks be to God. Blessed be God forever. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Yes, I said it. And I'll say it again many times in this broadcast. Hold on. Jesus says, yeah, I said Crawford beats Fake Nello easy. Same with Mbili. Well, we'll see. Um, and yeah, I think all of us said it on this channel, didn't we, James?
Yeah, yep, we did. We
Yep.
said it for like over a month there. Whether on this channel, different channels. Speaking with Coach Ronnie, we picked Crawford to get the win there. So
Yeah, guys, and look, we get prepared now. And congratulations to Hamza Shiraz once again for making light work of the runner-up, Alam Begic. Happy to be here, Alam Begic. Yes, sir. And congratulations to my brother Andy Lee. And
yeah.
when I first met Andy, he was the big stud in the Kronk gym from the middleweight division. Boy, he's come a long way. He has turned into a world class trainer. And would you expect anything less training and learning under the trainer of champions, the late great Emmanuel Stewart, James?
Hmm. Right, exactly.
Tell you what, congratulations to both. But let's get prepared for this main event tonight. The From the pyramids in Giza, right? Rico Suave Verhoeven. Yes, Big Luke. I said Rico Suave. He, he's 1-0 with one KO. Um, the big 6'5" uh, uh, kickboxer from the Netherlands. Most people aren't giving him a shot here. Do you subscribe to that ideology, Big James?
I don't, because for me it's more about how Usyk prepares for a guy that you haven't really seen much of. Like you said, it's been one pro fight there in the actual boxing ring, and that was back in 2014. Verhoeven's mo is basically from the kickboxing era, but looks like he's prepared very well for this bout. Um, and that he's ready for someone like Usyk, who of course is not known for being a big puncher, but can time punches very well.
Hmm.
So that would be the thing there for Rico to watch out for is him being timed well after he gives up his offense for those first couple of rounds.
Well, I'll say this about Rico Suave. Two things that bode well for him. One, he's always in great shape. He's well conditioned, very smart guy, has a lot of experience in the ring. And look, from what I've been told from dear friends of mine who have worked with Rico Suave, they say that he's already grown accustomed to sparring with some of the best fighters in the heavyweight division. He's used to being flat-footed in the ring. He's not gonna just have a reflex and try to kick Alexander Usyk tonight, guys. He's here for a reason. Once again, this is a very intriguing fight, and I'll say this: fighters who don't wait on Alexander Usyk have the most success. Rico Suave is used to taking the lead. He's used to getting off first, and that usually serves him well against a guy again like James. If you wait on Alexander Usyk and allow him to dictate the pace of the fight, what are your chances for victory?
Slim and none. How about that?
There it is. There it is. Hold on real quick. Um, Jesus M says, no, I give him no credit for picking on Christian and Bealey. Holy shnikes. You're a hard man, Jesus. Maybe you should be prize fighting. Chingao. Yeah. But I tell you what, Rico Verhoeven, we'll see. Like, honestly, guys, think about this. This is the heavyweight division, right? In most divisions, you could say, well, he's got a puncher's chance, and it means nothing. But in the heavyweight division, James, it actually means something if you've got heavy hands and you have a good chin and you're well conditioned and you've got the experience that Rico has and he's got the mindset of a winner. Honestly, I think this fight is going to prove to be a lot more interesting than most believe. What say you, sir?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty intriguing fight. I mean, outside of what we had with Joshua and Francis Ngannou. I think this one is going to be something where we see styles kind of like mesh a little bit to where it's a very tactical fight, especially early in the fight. So if it's anything different than that, then I would be surprised a little bit.
Okay, yeah, and Jesus once again being the antagonist tonight says kickboxing don't move like Usyk, usually not encouraged in moving that. Well, look, yes, you square up in kickboxing. That's a given. But once again, if I didn't know that this guy had sparred with Joseph Parker, hadn't sparred with Tyson Fury, hadn't sparred with Huey Fury, then I would say, you know what, maybe you're onto something. But this guy's used to that. And he's prepared meticulously for this. He's known about this for 6 months. So, once again, let's see how this plays out, guys. We are going to see it in real time. Let's take a look now at the incumbent champion, Alexander Usyk. Why is everyone favoring it like they're saying that this would be a bigger upset than Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson? James, do you agree with that?
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? Even with the styles that could mesh with this particular fight, if Rico does win, I would say that it is a bigger upset because of how Usyk is viewed in the current juncture of boxing. Like he's viewed as number one pound for pound, has those wins over Fury, wins over Joshua, wins over Daniel Dubois. Clearly the class of the heavyweight division right now, and so you got someone like Rico Verhoeven that's coming in fresh, fresh like what was it, like Francis Ngannou against Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury has those lapses, and we all know that, that lapse pretty much it nearly cost him that fight against
Yep.
Ngannou. Like Usyk
Indeed.
is way too disciplined, so if you catch him, it's gonna be like, wow, you caught Alexander Usyk, So that's why I say that this could end up being a bigger upset.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. This will be the biggest upset. This will be the upset of the millennium if he happens to pull that off. And but look, I'm saying it's going to be a more interesting fight for as long or as short as it lasts because of not only his experience working with some of the best fighters in boxing in the heavyweight division, but also his mindset. People don't understand, James, the mindset of a winner. This guy's done nothing but win, and he truly believes that he deserves this assignment. And a fighter who has that mindset, how difficult is that assignment in the ring?
Oh, that's like really difficult because it's like you get to a point where you think that you've done everything that you needed to do, and he's still right there. You know what I mean? And so you'll get to a point where it's like, now what the hell do I need to do in order to beat this guy? And when you have that, especially if you're going into that fight, like, pretty confident that you could win and that what you've done over the course of your career has been able to get you those wins, but it hasn't worked against this opponent, then it's like, okay, what's, plan B? Do we even have a plan B against this guy? So that's the thing with Alexander Usyk is that like you might be able to do some things to be work pretty well against him, but then he's still right in front of you and then turns it around and you're like, how is he able to do this?
There it is. It's the intestinal fortitude and the mindset of a winner. We'll see, but he's going up against the undefeated enigma of the heavyweight division in Alexander Usyk. At age 39, he still seems to be improving with each performance. In his last showing, taking out Daniel Dubois, who just battered Fabio Wardley to grab the WBO title once again. Southpaw, 6'3", heavyweight, undefeated, 24-0 with 15 knockouts from Kiev, Ukraine. I was just corrected by our brother Thomas Triber that Kiev is an American pronunciation, and Ukrainians prefer that it's pronounced Kiev. How do you like that, Big James?
I mean, yeah, that happens, and
Yeah.
when they're in their native land, that's we'll have it so where it's like that. Like how what is it, Brazil or España,
Yeah.
like that. So
Look, I'll say this also. I was very proud of Thomas that he correctly pronounced Jack El Gato Catterall in his sensational victory shutout against Shakram Giasov. So he is now the WBO regular champion at 147, whatever the hell that means. But look, can you say before we start talking about the heavyweights once again, can you say that the welterweight division has officially heated up to epic proportions and the possibilities are endless now at 147. What
yeah, the
matchup would you like
possibilities
to
can
see
be.
at 47 at this time?
I mean, what do we have now? We got Rolly Romero currently as a super champion. You got
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again because I thought I heard Rolly Romero.
yes, Rolando Rolly Romero is
Oh,
a
jeez.
they claim a multi-division world champion. Um, and with this win over Ryan Garcia, he was able to be the WBA champion. Then they WBA this week made the announcement that Rolly Romero is a WBA super champion, which is
Oh boy.
very
Wait a minute.
interesting.
Before you go any further, let me ask you this: Does because I know Eddie Hearn is going to try and lobby to get his man that fight with Gilberto Mendoza Jr., but does Rolly Romero ditch his title for a bigger fight? Or does he defend it against Jack El Gato Catterall at this point?
Well, to me, I would say he dishes. Well, he could either dish the belt for a bigger fight, or like I don't understand how he was not able to secure a unification belt. You mean to tell me that he?
Ah,
Well, I still don't like how Devin Haney and them handled that situation because we could have had a fight between Haney and Rolly Romero next weekend.
yep.
But because of that, now it's like, okay, what is going to be the situation here with Rolly? Because it's not like he's going to be fighting Ryan Garcia, or at least I don't see it. Um, and who knows what's up with the other situation. So I don't know what the direction is going to be for Rolly Romero, but we're like over a year since his last fight because that Ryan Garcia fight was his last fight.
Mm, mm. Well, we'll see, brother. And well, look, Ryan Garcia, he spilled the beans on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Would you like to fill everyone in case they missed it?
Well, on Monday night, late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, Ryan Garcia was on with Jimmy Fallon, and he announced that he will be stepping in the ring against Connor Ben. Connor Ben.
So
And
on this channel, we told you guys there's a reason why, like, we wondered why is Ryan Garcia constantly crapping on Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy when they're putting him in position to get the brass ring. One, beating up, battering, and grabbing the WBC title from Mario Barrios, and then fighting his mandatory challenger in Conor Ben.
yep,
And if he does both of those things, which he's expected to, um, yeah, he's sitting pretty as the man at 147. Like, dude,
yeah,
he is by far the big ticket seller at 147. So we told you guys this months ago, and guess what? It's happening, guys, on the same night as Canelo Mexico versus the world, right? It's
yep,
happening on the same night in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. Conor Benn challenging Ryan Garcia for his WBC trinket at 147. And I hate to be one of those, in the mortal words of Bobby the Brain Heenan, hate to be one of those guys that likes to say, I told you so, but we told you so. We told you that was going to happen. We told you that's what Golden Boy was trying to do for their man, Ryan Garcia. And I don't see how Conor Benn pulls off the upset, especially in Vegas.
Yeah,
James,
I
your
don't either.
thoughts?
I don't either. I mean, Conor Ben doesn't really put punches together like that. Um, a number of people expected him to really put a number on Reach's progress, and he didn't. Basically. So if you're going up against a fighter that's like much faster than you, um, yeah, I don't see where Conor Ben would have a path to victory against Ryan Garcia.
And Jesus says, isn't Ben with Zuffa? Yes, he is. And expect De La Hoya to instantly become Dana White's best friend just to make this fight a reality. Because this is easy work for even someone like Ryan Garcia if Ryan steers the course and gets the most of himself in the gym, unlike David Morrell Jr. Did I just say that out loud, brother? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. There it is. But guys, we're getting ready for this main event. It's Alexander Usyk defending his titles against Rico One Hit Wonder Suave Verhoeven. Oh, geez. And look, shame on you, Rico Verhoeven, for making everyone bring up that terrible song in the late or in the early 90s, Rico Suave by Gerardo. Oh, geez. So I'll tell you what are the odds currently? Because I can't look up the betting line right now, but what are the odds right now for Usyk versus Verhoeven, Big James?
Let me see if I could, get it on here if it's able to be pulled up. Got Usyk at as high as 50 to 1.
Yeah, that's about right. So I guess you would be right. That would be a bigger upset than Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, man.
And so we have to thank Jason Statham, who actually was the agent in making this fight a reality, fusing both worlds of kickboxing and boxing. But look, everyone pointing to former kickboxer Vitaly Klitschko and saying, "Hey, he's got a chance like that." Look, Vitaly Klitschko was a boxer first, and then he turned kickboxer. That's not the case with Rico Verhoeven, is it?
Nope, sure isn't.
No. So look, I will say this though: he can punch, and this is the heavyweight division. And what do they call the heavyweight division? The theater of the unexpected. Anything can and often does happen in the theater of the unexpected. That is the heavyweight division, guys. So we're getting ready for the heavyweight fight, the main event of the evening. Look, I'm going to keep this short because I don't like to cast aspersions on this channel any longer. That Big Luke says, yeah, Rico Suave could have been a nice alias for him. Geez. But look, I don't mean to cast aspersions, but we're getting ready for Michael Buffer to announce the main event after our brother Thomas Triber did an amazing job, as usual, this evening, proving that he is the best in boxing at this time in ring announcing. Um, is it time for Michael Buffer, like Roy Jones, like James Toney, and all other gallant fighters in this business, to finally hang him up? Big James, your thoughts on Michael Buffer hanging up the mic once and for all?
Yeah, I think it's going to be time here real soon for him. He's been up there. What is it for? A while. Man, it's been a long time, man. What, over 30 years or something like that? So
Longer than that, but yeah.
yeah, and he's had some instances, whether it's been in the ring or during the presser or weigh-ins where he's, slipped up, and when it's something like that, then you know that it's close for, him to kind of like wrap things up.
Yeah, look, Michael Buffer has been a staple and an icon of boxing around the world, and we wish nothing but the best. But, brother, it's time. You don't need the money anymore. But look, when you're at this level, James, it's more than just the money. It's the event, it's the fanfare, it's being a part of this circus that is truly, boy, it's amazing to witness, isn't it?
Hmm.
Talk about that. What it's like to be a part of these events, and you're a member of the media, a respected member of the media. What's it like to be a part of these big events for the fans that have never attended to something like this?
It's like it's a scene, depending on how big the event is and how close you are to being ringside for something like that. Whether it's like a fight with Tank Davis or maybe something that involves Terrence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, then you see like the anticipation that's they're leading into these events, or you see the amount of famous people that show up to these events. So it's like a scene that you don't necessarily get with like say for example football, because you're dealing with 60 to 70 to like 80,000 screaming fans or whatever it is, and you don't get that opportunity to like say get close to the field or whatever it is. So here you kind of like get that opportunity to be there close one on one almost with the fighters at one point, or just being around a number of people that are in sports. So it's a crazy scene.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, we wish nothing but the best for Michael Light and the Loafers Buffer. And look, I'll share that story, guys. And the reason why I call him Light and the Loafers, that's Emmanuel Stewart. People don't know this, but Emmanuel and his team basically discovered Michael Buffer back in the day. And he told me this story once. He goes, "Yeah, Michael's my guy." And I always thought, just from seeing him personally, and he's always prim and proper. I always thought he was a bit light in the loafers until we went overseas and did an event in Germany. Let me tell you something. Women love Michael, and Michael loves women. He got in that short trip, he got more ass than a toilet. And before that, I thought he was a little light in the loafers. Oh, God bless you, Emmanuel. We love you, brother. So I tell you what, Michael, you've been great. You've been an icon. You've been wonderful for the business of boxing. But it's time. It's time. Speaking of it's time, it's just about time to introduce the fighters from for this main event of the evening. Rico Verhoeven challenging Alexander Usyk for the heavyweight championship of the world. And I don't say undisputed because Daniel Dubois currently has a portion of the crown. But can we just say undisputed, James, for all intents and purposes?
Yeah, we all
Well,
know
let's,
that he
let's
is.
say that. Guys, introducing once again Rico Verhoeven. He's got a fine record of one victory, zero losses, one big win coming by way of knockout. He's currently the king of king boxing. He stands 6'5", fights out of the orthodox stance, fights behind a 78.5-inch reach from Halsteren, Netherlands. There's Rico Verhoeven, tonight's title challenger. And he's got a big assignment in front of him. The enigma of the heavyweight division. Oh, Alexander Usyk. Guys, Alexander Usyk steps in the ring at age 39. Fights out of the southpaw position. Stands 6'3" tall in the center of the ring. Fights behind a surprising, lengthy 78-inch reach. Um, Currently from Crimea, Ukraine, now fighting out of Oxnard, California. He has a perfect record, 24 wins, 0 losses, 15 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current kingpin of the heavyweight division, beating everyone of this era. Alexander Usyk. James, what does Rico Verhoeven have to do to win tonight besides bring a machine gun to the ring?
He might, well, according to some, he might have to bring two.
And a baseball bat.
Yeah, and that too, and a baseball bat. Man, 'cause- yeah, I don't know what Verhoeven's path to victory is going to be, unless if it's something to where he gets to a point where he takes a number of the shots from Alexander Usyk and is like, hey, you know what? Usyk really doesn't have much behind this punch. Let me see if I could walk through one or two in order to land a couple of shots of my own. That to me is like the only path that he would have.
Well, look. If you are his trainer, you've been in and around this business, you pick the brains of the very smartest and capable trainers in boxing. And I know this to be true. So if you were training Rico Verhoeven, if you were Peter Fury, what would be your keys to victory for Rico Suave?
Oh man, I would watch to see what Tyson was able to do in the first fight. If you have like anything where you know that you got good reach advantage against Usyk, and just keep the jab in front of him and just jab or throw punches no matter where Usyk moves, then maybe you would have something there to kind of like get a good start against Alexander Usyk, and then build off of that. But given that it is someone who isn't necessarily used to punching that much, I'm not sure if Verhoeven will be able to do that, especially like early.
Well, look, those are two different animals. Look at what he does. Rico Verhoeven, if you look at his kickboxing career, like you can't even look at that one fight in the ring, right? But if you
Mhm.
look at him, he's not a counterpuncher by trade. He takes the lead, and he's comfortable doing that effectively. He likes to put pressure. He likes to work behind the jab. Um, but goodness gracious, man, he's got an almost insurmountable hill to climb. I'll say this: his best chance for victory is to catch Alexander Usyk cold. Start letting his hands go before Alexander Usyk gets his eyes adjusted to the timing, speed, and movement of his opponent. And he's got to be assertive. He's got to get off first. He cannot let the magician of the heavyweight division dictate the pace of the fight. If he does that, it's done. It's all but finished. So he has to get out first. He's got to apply pressure. He's got to cut off the ring effectively. And he's got to assert himself early. In my opinion, those are his best chances for victory. Look for the straight right hand. Step to your left, young man, and fire
Yeah.
that straight right down the middle. If he does that, he might make this fight interesting for a short, because let's just face it, he's got the mindset of a winner. He's in great physical shape. He's the bigger man, and he's got heavy hands. He's a knockout puncher. If he can do those things, he's got a chance. But, well, let's look at Alexander Usyk. What does he have to do to win this fight? Because Alexander Usyk is indeed, he's the chameleon in the ring, Big James.
Yeah.
If you give him a few rounds, he's going to figure you out, and he's going to make you look silly. Look at his last fight with Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois was riding high on a great streak, and he was brimming with confidence. and Alexander Usyk knocked his ass out.
Clean out, basically.
Oh,
Well, kind of.
woo. Guys, Alexander Usyk, and in my opinion, as great as Alexander Usyk is, I think he's taken advantage of this era of, well, quasi celebrity heavyweights. If we just saw, guys, Richard Torres Jr., a top flight heavyweight, get taken out like nothing. Well, once again, compare him to the badasses in the 90s. I don't know if he does as well. I think, but he's a throwback nonetheless. All
Yeah,
credit
he
to
is.
Usyk for steering the course. He's a badass throwback like Terrence Crawford and Noya Inoue. You can't take anything from him. But I will say this: Rico Suave has a puncher's chance. And in the
Hmm.
heavyweight division, that actually means something. Hold on. Jesus M poses a very interesting question. Um, James, I'll say this for you. Who will perform better on the big stage, Rico Suave or Francis Ngannou?
Whew.
Yeah. Woo!
I think for if they're talking about like Ngannou's fight against Fury, I would lean towards Ngannou.
Well, you know
Um,
that Jesus M wasn't directing it towards that fight.
yeah, but
He was talking about Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua.
oh god, oh god, now Rico would do much. Now Rico should be able to do better than that. He'll be able to
I
do better
agree. I agree.
because
Guys, I
he's
think this is going to prove to be a much more interesting fight than most believe
yeah,
because of the um because of the intangibles that I just stated. Once again, people don't realize if you've got the mindset of the winner, the experience working with some of the best guys in the division, and you do nothing but win. You've got that winning pedigree and mindset that fares you very well at the big stage and can take you very far. We'll see what happens, guys. Once again, is it just me? Is it just me? Oh, hold on. Jesus M says this. Boxing source, I need your pick. Holyfield versus Usyk at cruiser and heavyweight.
Holyfield at heavyweight, cruiserweight. Mm.
Come on, heavyweight, dude. Holyfield as well. Look, I'll say this: Usyk doesn't even beat David the Haymaker Hay at cruiserweight. Sorry, and I stand by that.
Mm. Mm.
David Hay on that juice with that reflexes, the speed, the power. Come on now. Yes, I said it. David
Yeah.
Hay beats Alexander Usyk at cruiserweight. So why are we even mentioning Evander Holyfield? The work rate, the athleticism, Evander Holyfield beats up and stops Alexander Usyk at cruiserweight. Yes, sir. I said it.
Wow.
Okay, all you have to look at
Okay.
is this.
Okay. Okay. Then I add another
Before
one.
the knockout, James,
Now,
before the knockout, look at Tony Bellew's fight. He was having success against Alexander Usyk until, well, the final 2 rounds. If he
okay.
had trouble with Tony Bellew, come on now.
There's
Oh,
styles.
let's
It,
look at
it could be
Gossiev,
styles.
right?
It could be
How was the
styles.
Gossiev fight for Usyk? Did he get hit? Did he get touched up?
Yeah, he did. But again, it's styles. That
Yeah,
okay. How about this
so
then?
once
How
again,
about
what are we
this?
talking about? Holyfield kicks his
How about this?
ass.
How
Yes.
about this? How about this? If you're gonna say that, then what do you think about Moore versus Usyk in both
Ooh,
weight
both
classes?
southpaws. Look, is it with Teddy Atlas or Emmanuel Stewart?
Um, Moore with Stewart.
Then more with Stewart. finds a way to beat Alexander Usyk. Yes, I said it because the trainer of champions, he lived for that. Teddy Atlas was more of a motivator. Hey, if you don't want to fight, did you want me to fight for you? Yeah, we're firemen. We're firemen. We run to the fire. Woo!
Man, you got to start this fight, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm uh running out of material.
Nah, I mean, we got things to talk about, man. I got to catch up with what happened last night.
Bring it. Oh, dude. Hey, man, your boy from Oakland. He's
Yeah,
from Oakland, right?
yeah,
Dude,
yep,
he made light work of the former title holder in just what 3 rounds?
yep. 3 rounds.
He looks awesome, dude.
It
Let's
looks like
fast forward. Like while we're waiting, let me get your thoughts on the potential snooze fest. That is Raymond Ford versus my brother Oshaki Foster from Houston, Texas. Look, I'll say this. Uh, it's going to look like watching paint dry at times, James.
mm, what if it looked well? What did you think about Foster's performance against Fulton?
Both guys are cannon punchers. It's the same thing.
Mm, this could be a step below that.
Oh, jeez. Look, Raymond Ford is an excellent fighter when paired with the favorable style matchup. So is Oshaki Foster. Unfortunately, this isn't that. I don't know why they made this fight and build it as a main event in Houston, Texas, in a very lucrative fight city. This is going to stink out the joint, and I don't like it one bit. Shame on you, Matchroom Sport. I'll just say that. But guys, look, we're getting ready. So Jesus M, he says this. Hay was chinny. Yeah, if you could touch him at cruiserweight, but you couldn't because his reflexes, athleticism on that good was just too good for every one of his opponents. And Jesus M says, yes, I agree, Holyfield. And he also says this, Amari Jones versus Vito Milnecki Jr. Honestly, I don't want to see that fight, James. You already know why.
Yeah, not there yet.
Look, we could say this without a doubt. Amari Jones is so much more athletically gifted. As much as I love Vito Jr. and Senior, look, in this business, James, if you cannot match natural athletic gifts with your opponent, you'd better adopt, you better put on your hard hat and smother his offense, cut off his reaction time and get to work and try to make it a numbers game. Try to adopt and evoke the spirit of Antonio Margarito because from mid to long range, you've got no chance. Am I wrong in saying that?
No chance in hell. What they say, no chance in hell.
Ha ha! Yeah, Vince McMahon. I love it. Hold on, brother. I've got that. I've got that right here, man. Hold on. I'm gonna let's see. I've got my WWF. Let's do this while we're waiting, guys. Shall we? Hold on. Here it is.
No chance, so that's what you got. Up against a machine too strong. Pretty
Is that for Rico Verhoeven or Vito Milnecki Jr.?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, they say what Vito's next fight is scheduled for July, so let's see what he's gonna do or what they got set up for him. I mean, but against Amari Jones, ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Oof. You know
Well,
what?
here's a gentleman who taught. I'm gonna play another WWE song real quick. Here's a gentleman who taught Thomas Schreiber everything he knows.
Mr. Kennedy.
Oh man.
Woo! No. I'll say this a little closer to reality. Right now, Thomas Schreiber is the excellence of execution because he's meticulous in his preparation for these events. So I'll play this one.
Yep. He did a great job out there. I mean,
Okay, one last one, brother. See if you can guess whose music this is from WWE.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Oh, Carlito.
Yeah, Carlito. Woo-hoo. I love it, man. So there it is, guys. Our flashback to WWE and WWF infamy. There it is. Look, guys. Here it comes.
Oh,
Our main
man.
event finally starting. Big Luke says, "I love me some Ray Ford." You know what? He's great when placed in the ring with a favorable style matchup. Like, let's be honest, his fight against Nick Ball was legendary, even though he came up short. I actually thought he deserved to win that fight. What say you?
Yeah, I thought he would have gotten the upper hand in the decision, but they didn't give it to him. You know, but even before that, he was not doing too well before getting that last round stoppage. So, like, he could get outpointed by good boxers, man.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Unfortunately, he's against an excellent boxer puncher from mid to long range in Oshaki Foster. This is why they have him featured in Oshaki's hometown of Houston, Texas. And yes, we're going to be there next week. We've got another fighter on tap that was just signed from Matchroom Sport, and that's Frank Knuckles Espinoza, G Funky's current fighter from Sacramento, California. Is going to be featured on the undercard of that. Look for him, guys. He is an excellent prospect. Here to there says, agreed, Joseph. Amari Jones looks ready to step up, and that division is wide open for him. Yes, it is. With Carlos Adames moving up and challenging, isn't he trying to get a big fight with, who is it? Who is he trying to get a fight with? Is it Lester Martinez?
Maybe it is Lester Martinez.
Hmm.
I was thinking that they would try to put Lester in a fight in, I think it's August over in Los Angeles.
Oh boy.
They're supposed to have a Guatemalan festival. Well, have an annual Guatemalan festival in August over in Los Angeles. So
That would make sense then.
Yeah, they could
Speaking
have.
of what's been moved to August, Tyson Fury originally wanted his tune-up to be in July, the week before Anthony Joshua, but instead it's being targeted now for August. And it's just been reported, and I know this firsthand, he's already turned down offers to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. and big fat ass baby Miller. In the interim, who does he fight in August? Big James?
Good question. If it ain't gonna be Andy Ruiz Jr., if it ain't gonna be Miller, then what would be an attractive thing there for him? In the interim. I mean, I don't see much as far as like any fighters that are within contendership that he could go up against, unless if it's like I don't know, Victor Vickhurst or something like that, or what was it, dude? Husa?
Oh, geez. Look. What does he fight? The big Swede and Ronnie Stable?
Nah, I don't think so.
No. I don't know who then. Like, who does he fight? Like, he should have been champing at the bit to fight Andy Ruiz Jr.
Yeah.
Like, really? That guy, he's a 3-round
They
fighter
said,
now because he's been so inactive and he's always struggling to get in shape.
I wonder what he's doing now because he's supposed to be back with Manny Robles.
Well, not making any money.
Yeah, right now he's not.
So, well, we'll see, guys. We'll see. But once again, we're just waiting. And it almost feels like we've been on the air for an hour just talking about nonsense and noise while we're waiting for this match to
Yeah.
happen.
Yep.
Is there anything? Well, look, is there any? What do you hear from the future of Devin Haney? Because it looks like Shakur is demanding a catchweight to fight Devin the Dream Haney. Who does Devin Haney fight then at 47?
And I would have just had him fighting anybody. And this is a thing that has kind of like been one of the bigger disappointments in like today's era of fighters is that you're coming off, or at least with Devin Haney, you're coming off of a big win over Brian Norman Jr. in November, and now here we are. It's almost the end of May, and you don't have anything set up yet. Oh, great! Go have him on the mic while we talking about it.
Wait, what?
They got him on the mic right now.
Oh, Devin the Dream Haney?
Yeah.
Oh,
man. But
why?
listen.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at least we can count our lucky stars that it's not Bill and it's actually Devin.
Yeah. But you have that momentum of being now a world champion at welterweight. Like at least try to see if you could set up a fight, defending that WBO title. It doesn't have to be one of these high level or big money fights that you're looking for. At least do something to stay busy. You know what I mean? So
Yep. Well, look, is it my imagination, or does Devin Haney get his wardrobe ideas from Ernie and Bert from Sesame Street?
Yeah, it does look like that, don't it?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, look, man, best of luck to him. Fight somebody, though. You had a chance to fight Rolly Romero in a unification bout. Yeah, you priced yourself out.
Yep.
So I have no sympathy for him. It's like these guys don't understand the realistic market value.
Nope, they don't.
Jeez. And that's the problem with boxing in the American market. Are we having these problems anywhere else in the world, James?
Nope.
Look, congratulate me, brother, because I just got the assignment to do the scripting and narrating for Jesse Bam Rodriguez's documentary coming up, and we're going to be working on it in about 2 weeks.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you, brother. Dude. And so my question is, does Bam Rodriguez, does Naoya Inoue, does he actually beat Junto Nakatani in the rematch? And two, can Bam Rodriguez beat Naoya Inoue at this time?
I don't think Bam can. And for Junto, I think it's going to be more of him focusing on what he did in I think it was like the 9th round against Inoue, where he started to be more aggressive and fight on his front foot. Because when he was doing that, he looked like he was doing pretty well, and that was something that I expected from him within the first couple of rounds. But in those first rounds, he was like, real tentative, and I was like, how you can't necessarily be like that against Naoya Inoue, because he's going to take advantage of that. So,
yep. Look, I'll say this. Hopefully, Junto Nakatani has learned from, his performance in the first fight. Look, he did okay the second half of the fight, but it was a little too late.
Mm-hmm.
A la Lamont Peterson versus Danny Garcia. Too little, too late, Buster. But look,
this is about to start up.
Oh yes, sir. Here's the tape. They're going through it. Look, Rico Verhoeven. They're making a big deal out of Alexander Usyk's age, and Rico Suave is 37.
37. Yep.
You're an old geezer, also, dude. Come on. But look, thank you, brother. We appreciate you being here, man. It's been a long time. It's good to see you, my friend. And thank you. And here to there, thank you once again. Appreciate you being here as well. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We're gonna
switch up
talk about,
my feed here. Hold on a second.
yes, sir. We're gonna talk about this in a little bit. Hold on. Running
Running
out of
out of
juice, are
juice,
you?
are you?
Can you
Can
hear
you
me,
hear me,
Big
Big
James?
James?
Hold
Hold
on.
on.
Let's do this. James, what's going on, my friend?
No,
Because
I tried
there's
to
a
do it
bad,
from my phone.
okay,
I don't know
there's a
why it's
bad
not
echo
working. Hold
from
on
your
a
phone.
second. So I gotta try something here real quick.
There's an echo
Um,
from your phone.
oh, I know.
But guys,
Try
we're
from the
getting
other
ready.
one.
They're okay. Let's try the next one. Hold on. Here we go.
All right, now you should
James,
hear
can you
me.
hear me?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. Perfect. Perfect. No echo. Here we go. They're getting ready for the big introduction. Getting ready to make their way to the ring. Rico Suave Verhoeven from the Netherlands. Yes. Royale with cheese. Yes. Did I just say that out loud? Royale with cheese. Yeah. I'll say this. Turkey al Sheikh, um, Sella, Ring Magazine, they have the best production we've ever seen in boxing, guys. Keep it up. This is absolutely incredible, guys. And once again, just the backdrop of this happening at the pyramids of Giza. This is biblical, guys. This is going back to the book of Genesis, Exodus, and Numbers. This is absolutely incredible. And I feel so happy that boxing is on center stage, our beloved boxing. It deserves this because boxing, James, when boxing is at its best, is there any other sport that can compete with it?
Yeah, this should be great.
Dude, I don't think there's any other sport that can compete with boxing when it's at its best.
Yeah,
Think about this.
exactly.
Think about this. If you've got the Super Bowl and then you've got Moses Itauma versus Alexander Usyk at the same time, which one are you tuning into?
Oh man. Yeah, you know the pick.
Yeah, guys, it's boxing all day long. It is the sport of kings. We love it. And Rico, I love your confidence, but you gonna get your ass whooped. Yes, yes. And our brother says, the boxing source. I love the growth of boxing in the DMV area. Yes, indeed. And look, there's a bunch of untapped potential that we'll be seeing under the bright light soon. Yes, under some very
Starting on July
capable
4th.
trainers and gyms. And the boxing source, James, is right there in the thick of it. And we're really looking forward to all of your coverage, my friend.
Yeah, starting on July 4th. I mean, you're gonna have Derek Scooter Davis that's gonna be on the Zone and TNT when they had that fight card in Cleveland, Ohio. So look,
Yes. I'll say this for Rico. He looks like he's already in a dead sweat as he's
oh, that's
coming out
good.
to the ring.
That's good.
And that's important. That's a
Yeah,
very, very
and,
positive sign.
yeah, and that was the thing I was
He is
worried
running
about.
to the ring, James.
Oh, good.
He's running to the ring. He looks to be already warm. He's in a dead sweat. And if Alexander Usyk is not already warmed up, wow, look for Rico to go right at him. I love that. I love looking at this. This means that Rico is ready to fight. This is a great thing, James.
Yeah, it's also because that was my concern about having the gap between Hamza Shiraz beating up Alan Bejic
and then waiting for the start of this fight. So at least they train Rico to be able to stay warmed up, and so he doesn't like be cold going into this battle against Alexander Usyk.
I'll say this also. Everyone's been making and mocking the comedy world for doing the sports washing thing and having that comedy jam in Saudi Arabia, right? But honestly, I don't see it that way with boxing. I love boxing being on the big stage in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, or wherever. As long as they put together the best fights, who cares?
Yeah,
Because that's what we need, that's what we want. And credit to all combatants for being as fearless as they are and taking on these big assignments. Bring it on, guys. And once again, that's the majesty of boxing. I will put it against any other sport. And I'm sorry, when it's a live boxing event, I will pick live boxing over anything else.
hmm
God bless boxing. May it flourish. Here comes Alexander Usyk, the man currently in the heavyweight division. Once again, he's 24-0 with 15 knockouts. The enigma of the heavyweight division, coming out like a Spartan, like the Persian killer. Oh boy, he is one of the 300 tonight. How do you like that, James?
you see the backdrop there with the fireworks too. So
Mhm.
like they really organized this and timed that well. So props to
Oh,
him on
we
that
are
part.
Sparta. Yes, I love it. Gosh, what an amazing production this is, guys. This is amazing. Hold on. Joe, who you got? Dubois versus Sanchez. Oh, I've got Daniel Dubois by a cannonball shot from his noggin.
Yeah.
Yes, I said
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Listen,
Woo!
man, I don't. He doesn't look like that he understands what is going on in the ring.
Look, guys, and Thomas has told me, is like, Joe, maybe you should rethink some of the things that you say because I think that's getting in the way of you getting the big assignments. Look, I can't deal and I can't operate any other way.
Yeah,
I can't. I can't, brother. I can't keep it close to the vest. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say quite literally. With that said, brother Juice, yeah, this production is awesome. And you know what? Boxing and the fans, the real bosses deserve it. We deserve all of this.
yeah, like
Agreed, Joseph. Besides Turkey assisting the Weasel Dana White, have to appreciate what he has brought to the sport.
yep,
Yes, as a real fan and the real bosses of boxing, we are in awe of this product. Bring it on, guys, and we're getting ready to begin. Here comes Michael Buffer for the official introductions, guys. Big Luke,
oh
we love you, my friend. We're getting ready to call the big main event. Stay tuned.
yeah. They got the what is it, the anthems for or whatever it is that's going on or something here. Looks like
Yeah,
so, but yeah,
Royale with cheese.
but yeah, I
Woo.
mean, yeah, there hasn't been like a scene like you said, like in boxing, like you had those, those Thriller and Manilas or the Rumble in the Jungle instances where
Guys,
you would
it's
see
just
something
a
like that.
reminder. It's just a reminder that this is a global sport, and it
Yeah,
always has been. So, with
so
that said, while Micah Buffer is doing the official introductions, I'm going to step away and take a beta test. James, you take over, brother.
all right, yeah. So I mean, like I was saying here, you have a scene like this. This is basically what has been built since it said that first fight over there in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with the rematch between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr. And now it's like stemmed over to having these scenes that you have in Wembley Stadium, or maybe like to a certain extent Los Angeles with the Terrence Crawford fight that was out there, or having the Crawford versus Canelo at Allegiant Stadium. Like when Joe asked me about those scenes, like having that Canelo Crawford fight at Allegiant Stadium is like an experience that maybe we don't necessarily get, because yeah, you might have something like an AT&T Stadium, but you had Canelo fighting AT&T Stadium against Billy Joe Saunders, but is that like being in Vegas for a big fight? No. So you would have something like this happening in Allegiant Stadium, and then now with this Usyk versus Verhoeven over in Egypt, like we're gonna see probably another scene like this. I don't know, maybe somewhere else in Africa or something like that, or maybe what I would say, like they would probably I don't think it would be something that would work, but what if they would have thought about something of by the Great Wall of China? Like they would come up with some type of idea like that. So I think that's what we have now with Turkey Al Sheikh being involved, is that yeah, you kind of get these scenes where some people beforehand wouldn't have even thought of it, but he's like, making things like that possible. You know what I mean? So that's what you got on that front.
Well, I tell
Um,
you what. You know what? I'm probably about a minute behind you, James.
mm,
So feel free to test your metal calling this fight if you'd like.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I could do
I'm
that.
I'm gonna get no. I'm gonna give you the lead, brother. You
Okay.
do it, and dude, I know you can do it because you're so knowledgeable and you're so eloquent.
Yep.
So let's hear Big James call this fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, right now they had a thing for the Ukrainian national anthem. So we got, of course, that for Alexander Usyk. And you're gonna have, of course, Michael Buffer, announcing these guys for the Ring Magazine, WBC,
Look,
and
I'll be your
WBA
Larry Merchant tonight, right? And
heavyweight
I'll do my Larry Merchant
championship.
right now. You know,
Yeah.
when you look at the undercard, this has been somewhat of a night of upsets. Will we see an upset in the main event of the evening?
Yeah, that would be his opening line before the start of the bout. Yeah, it would be
Well,
Larry Bird.
this is indeed the theater of the unexpected. So let's see if it plays out that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for here.
So I've got Larry Merchant without the racism.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. Oh man, what a scene this is, though. What a scene
And
this
this is
is.
absolutely majestic at the biggest stage
So
for boxing. And credit to everyone involved for making this such an amazing event.
yeah.
And Michael, boy, I tell you what, he's holding the hills. But you look, if you can find him to one fight, Michael Buffer, he is great.
Hmm.
Credit to Thomas Triver for doing all the heavy lifting tonight.
Hmm.
I'll say
Hold
that.
on.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Now I had placed the order, right? Order to go, or whatever it is. And I think they gave me a little extra on this thing.
Because they knew it was big fight night, James.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir. You got the dim sum and the hot and sour soup.
nah.
Yeah.
I got an extra grapefruit soda with my order.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Squirt on the arrival. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess
Was
I
it
didn't
Fresca
notice.
or Squirt?
What is it? The Doritos grapefruit
Oh,
soda.
dude, you got first class.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. That's
that's
good
good.
stuff from Mexico.
Yep. Yeah, they still doing the thing for the introductions. Yeah, man. they did get
Well,
Rico warmed up, man. That's big. You don't want
that
to
is big. And guys, you'll see it play out that way in the first round.
Yeah, because he's gonna be loose. He should be loose there in those first rounds or something like that. He's not gonna be tentative at all as far as like his movement. So that's gonna be real good for him right here. But yeah, they're currently introducing him, and then they got, of course, Alexander Usyk is gonna be next there.
Well,
You know.
once again, he's got to be assertive, James. Make no
Mm-hmm.
mistake, make no mistake about it. He's got to be assertive. He cannot allow Alexander Usyk to dictate the pace of the fight. He's got to get off first, and he's got to be decisive with it.
Mm-hmm. That's a definite. That is a definite.
Want to
He.
know with one big win coming by way of knockout, James.
Mm-hmm. So 1-0, and you're able to fight for the Ring magazine uh titles. Don't
Well,
push the horses.
don't push the horses.
Don't push the horses.
Don't push the pyramids. Woo! And Alexander Usyk, the magician, the enigma of the heavyweight division, as stoic as he's ever been, dialed in. And you know what? This guy doesn't look past anyone, giving Rico Verhoeven all the respect that he deserves.
Hmm.
And he is trained for his toughest assignment to date. There's no doubt in my mind that he is dialed in and prepared.
Yep.
We'll see
Got the,
what happens, guys, in just a matter of moments.
just a matter of moments. They're getting the instructions there for the referee, and they're going to go to their respective corners, and we're going to have round one starting here real soon.
Yes,
Oh
Big
man.
James, call the fight, baby.
Oh man.
Woo!
So you got Usyk there jumping around a little bit. Rico, giving hugs around to his corner, and now he's getting himself loosened up, and then backing up to the corner here. So we're gonna have the bell for round one starting up here in a few seconds. All right, here it is. Yeah, you got Usyk here bouncing around. All right, round one starts. And you tap up in the middle of the ring. You got Rico bouncing up and down with his legs, moving his upper body a little bit, moving his arms, giving a double jab there, kind of like throwing it out there to throw it out there. Nothing really landing yet, but you do see Rico moving his head a little bit or a good amount. So we'll see. He's throwing a right hand towards Usyk while Usyk backs up to the ropes. So now he's moving off to the side. I'm seeing a lot of movement there from Rico here early in this first round. Usyk is like saying a little bit stationary here, seeing what Rico's doing, kind of like throwing a jab, flicking the jab out. There, of course, he's a southpaw, so he's throwing the right jab, and you see Rico throwing a few shots there towards Alexander Usyk. So
Let me
he,
ask you this, James. Is
Mhm.
it a good idea for Rico to be leaning in like that, crouching in, adjusting to Usyk's height? Or should it be fighting taller from mid to long range?
I would think he would be, fighting taller, but I guess he would want to be, I guess, not. I would say too upright to where he's not able to move as much as he is
Dare
right
I
now.
say, Rico Suave currently looks like me, myself, and Irene, Jim Carrey.
But he's using the activity to get Usyk thrown off here a little bit over these first 1.5 minutes of the first round. We got Usyk, still throwing out that southpaw jab, and Rico just moving around with his feet. I like that though from him, being on his toes. He's on his toes a lot, right? And so he's kind of like doing that there against Usyk and moving. With him having that constant movement, it's not like Usyk has a stationary target of sorts to wait for. Now Usyk throws 3-punch combination. Rico ties him up. All right, there, and you got like about 45 or so seconds left in the first round. Oh, good right hand attempt there from Rico, but didn't land flush on that. Um, let's see here. You still got Usyk, just pawing out that southpaw jab, pawing out the southpaw jab. Doesn't
Well,
really
he's done
have
his homework and he's moving to his left consistently
yes, he
away from that
is.
straight left hand.
That's right.
But his front foot on the outside, that's a good thing
That's right.
for Rico
So,
Verhoeven.
yep, that's right. And I'm, trying to see if I could find out. Okay, he does. He's keeping his lead hand or his lead foot, the left foot, on the outside of Alexander Usyk here so far in this first round. So I
Well,
think,
one thing I've noticed, he's actually showing Usyk so much respect. Look at his chin tuck right in the middle of his chest.
yeah. But he's having that thing there with his lead foot on the outside, the left foot, that gives him that ability to move away from that left hand of Alexander Usyk. So I'm seeing that as pretty good there on his part. You know what I mean? But that is
But
the end of round one.
I want to see him be more assertive though. Throw your hands, brother. Throw that straight
Hmm.
right hand down the middle as you're moving to the left.
Hmm. Yeah, he hasn't
All he's
quite done
doing
that
is
yet.
posturing at this point.
Yeah, yeah, you could say that. You could say that. Um, dang. Yeah,
Round one of posturing and jockeying for a lead position. Other than that, nothing else happened in the first round, James.
right. Nothing. No, nothing significant landed. No, like no punches to like throw either of them back. Start
Look,
round two.
I'll say this though, for one round, great job taking the lead, blow by blow commentary, brother.
Yep.
Great job, Big James.
All right, here we go. Round two. You got Rico,
Woo!
still moving to his left. Usyk's right, and he goes to attempts to jab to the body. You still see Usyk with the southpaw jab, and he's just using that. Now he's thrown in the left, landed the left there a little bit, but you still see Rico kind of like going forward. Now he's trying to land combinations or throw combinations up close. They're up in the clinch right now, and okay, referee's gonna break it up. All right, so still see Rico there, on his toes, which I like, but you're seeing more activity here from Alexander Usyk, throwing the left hand a little bit more. Now he's throwing hooks, while Rico is throwing a number of punches there to, kind of like stay active with his hands. All right, now we get back into around the center of the ring. Another clinch here from both of
Timestamp,
these
James.
guys. We
Timestamp.
got about under 2 minutes left here in the second round. In the second round here. All right. Now we got Rico still moving to his left, throwing out the jab, but then we get combinations from Usyk, but then he gets answered by right hand by Rico. Another combination by Usyk. All right, we're getting close to one halfway through the second round with Usyk throwing more combinations. Throws a left hand to the body.
I can say this, Big James. The speed differential is
Yep,
apparent.
yep, yep. All right, and two uppercuts there from Alexander Usyk. But Rico throws a series of punches there before they go into a clinch. There's 1:15 left in the second round here, and now we got Alexander Usyk. He gets hit with a punch to the body from Rico Verhoeven. Usyk throwing a combination, but Rico ducks under that. Right, Usyk with a few jabs here. Now you got Rico that's kind of under defensive mode now as Usyk starts throwing the jab. Oh, Rico tried to set him up with a right hand counter. Now he goes forward and throws a series of punches, put Usyk to the ropes here with the 45 seconds left in round two. All right, referee breaks him up.
Oh, Rico trying to hold and hit.
Yeah.
Not good.
So, but at least now he's more in a defensive stance. Now he's starting to move more a little bit like he was in the first round and the opening part of the second round. Throwing the jab and then adds in the right hand there a little bit, but didn't really touch Alexander Usyk. Double jab, but still, staying low, like with his head low, ducking down. Gets Usyk in the clinch, but throws punches while in the clinch. Referee saying work out of it, and they do work out of it. And a combination from Rico Verhoeven before he
You know
broke
what? A
away.
good choice
Now,
though by Rico, imposing his
sit back.
big body and big
Yep.
size on the smaller man.
Yep, and that's what he's doing here so far, and that is the end of round two. So he did have a little bit more activity there from Alexander Usyk, but with Rico, as long as he's staying up on his toes and moving to the left, then he's like throwing off the timing a little bit here from Alexander Usyk.
Well, I will say this: he's showing Alexander Usyk a ton of respect in his power because he is ducking down, reducing his size advantage to where Usyk almost seems to be the taller man in the ring at times,
Yeah,
and
it was
he's tucking his chin. That speaks volumes. He doesn't want to get touched on that chin of his in kickboxing.
yeah, not while Rico would be upright, but he's throwing some hooks while they're in close quarters there and connecting on them. So now we're getting to the start of round three here,
Let me
reels.
ask you this before we
But
get started with round three: is Usyk biding his time and letting Rico Verhoeven get gassed by the fifth round? Because keep in mind, he's only used to going 5 rounds in kickboxing.
yeah, that could happen there. I mean, we've seen a lot of movement here from Rico Verhoeven over these past 2 rounds, and he's looking like he's starting that here in his first 15 seconds of round three. There's another clinch there between the two, and referee says something to Rico Verhoeven. Oh, good punch there to the body, but looked like it was around borderline there on Alexander Usyk. All right, they get back
Mm.
into it. Right now, they're in the distance. You still see the movement there from Rico Verhoeven, still moving over to his left, Usyk's right. Um, you seeing a lot of activity there from Rico Verhoeven in these 2 rounds. And now to start here, round three, we're about almost a minute in. All right, we getting some power shots landed in from Rico Verhoeven here, and you got Alexander Usyk now backing up. All right, back into another clinch before Usyk gets out of
Well,
the
you know what?
ropes.
That's what Rico has to do. Make this a tough physical fight, cutting out the reaction time of Alexander Usyk.
Yep, yep, and that's what it's looking like he's doing. I'm really impressed by the constant movement here of Rico Verhoeven, not just with his legs, but with his upper body as well. So he's like giving Usyk different looks. Ooh, Usyk tried to land in uppercut, left uppercut, but Rico responded with a right hand. All right, so here we go. We got a minute 24 left here in round three. Right, we got Usyk. He was still
I
trying to
think,
see if he could
look,
land a
honestly,
jab.
I think Rico
Yeah.
Verhoeven's aggressive mindset is disrupting the timing
Yeah, and he just
rhythm
got
of
and Usyk
Usyk.
just got hit with a right hand. Usyk just got hit with a right hand. It's the movement of Rico Verhoeven that's like throwing off Alexander Usyk. Like he's not really timing his jab well on Rico Verhoeven, and him just
Well,
continuously
he
going
hasn't
to the
received the
left.
opportunity to establish it.
Yeah, yeah, he has not. He has not. And
Rico's been the more aggressive and busier
yeah,
fighter. And
much
Mike
busier.
Coppinger, after 2 rounds, has it
Yep.
2 rounds to nothing, Rico.
Yep, yep. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like been his activity, and you haven't really seen much success on Usyk's part here over these past 3 rounds. And here we're getting up to 30 seconds left in the third round, and you got like Usyk that has Rico close to the ropes, but hasn't really been able to do much of nothing. And it looks like Rico is trying to bait him, and throw power shots, power counter moves. So that's the thing that Usyk has to watch out for. Now, Usyk tried to throw and land a few power shots of his own, but wasn't able to properly connect there on that. And now Rico throws a couple of jabs to get within range, but Usyk lands the left hand in close quarters, and Rico responds with a right. Now we're getting a close. Yeah, and that is the end of the third round, and yeah, we are seeing a lot of action here
How
between
do
both of
you
these
score
guys.
this fight thus far, James?
And you could have it 3-0 for Rico. You could only, I mean, mainly because of his
So I'm going to
activity and
pose
him
this
being
question
able to
to you.
land.
I'm going to pose this question to you. Is the unorthodox style of Rico Verhoeven showing and presenting problems to the incumbent champ?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's more of the constant movement. Now, you did bring something up earlier. Is Alexander Usyk letting Rico Verhoeven move like this to see if he's going to have that same type of movement late in the fight, and then for him to try to take over late in the fight to see if Verhoeven is going to be exhausted by then. But at least right now, you got Rico with this movement, like being very successful here against Alexander Usyk as we get into the beginning of round four. All
Guys,
right.
James, doing a great job thus far, brother, doing the blow by blow commentary. Keep it up, my friend. I tell you what, this is a really intriguing chess match, and I can't wait to see the fireworks in the mid to late rounds because, guys, unlike most people predicted, this is not going to be a quick and easy blowout.
No, it is not.
Credit to Rico Verhoeven. I love the style matchup, and he's presenting a lot of problems for Alexander Usyk.
Yeah,
Carry on,
he
my friend.
certainly is, and I think the movement of Rico Verhoeven here, within these first 3 rounds has really gotten Alexander Usyk very frustrated here so far. So, and now with Verhoeven, he's starting to throw the jab a lot more here at the start of round 4.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I think it's more of him, just doing that movement. It's just keep moving, throwing the jabs, throwing the jabs, moving his upper body a little bit. So he's kind of making Alexander Usyk think. And that's the thing about it is that Usyk, I don't know if he expected to think this much against Rico Verhoeven there. So there we go. All right. Oh, and Rico Verhoeven going with these right hands. See if he could land flush with these big right hands. And hey, this is, you know
Oh,
what? This is something here when I was talking about this before the fight. Rico, if he was able to take a number of the shots here from Alexander Usyk early, is he going to do that in order to try to walk through them in order to land something big of his own? And I'm starting to see that here.
yes.
A combination there from Alexander Usyk. Oh, more combinations from Usyk. Kind of puts Rico back a little bit. Oh, he has Rico back in the. Oh man. Oh, now he's trying to land some big hard shots, and he has Rico
Uh-oh.
backed up. And all right, Rico's there still in the ropes,
Uh-oh.
so back up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And here we go. Let's see what Rico does here in response.
Usyk has had enough.
Yeah, it looks like it, but he's kind of trying to set him up now. He does have Rico back up a little bit, and he throws some power shots. Oh man, big power shots there from Alexander Usyk, and now he does have Rico back up a little bit, but at least Rico is still moving over to his left, still having that constant movement, moving on his toes, and he throws a punch, but Usyk misses with a counter. 1 minute left here. Got here for round 4. All right, now we got Rico backing up Usyk. Has Usyk to the ropes. They're in a clinch. Are they gonna get out of the clinch? Nope. Oh well, they tried it. But nope. Referee breaks him up. All right, here we got it.
Look,
Round 45
dare I
seconds left.
say, Alexander Usyk initiated the clinch.
Yeah, you can say that. But now you got Alexander Usyk now being a little bit more offensive now throwing more punches.
Oh,
But man, Rico responds with a right hand of his own. All right, and now a jab with Alexander Usyk. Responds with a jab with Rico Verhoeven. He's still throwing
oh
those
man,
jabs.
he's a
Oh,
strong
but he
dude,
gets
man.
hit with a right hand counter by Rico Verhoeven. Oh, but he ends up almost getting hit flush with an uppercut
Oh,
there. Oh man, he lost his mouthpiece. Oh, there's a timeout as
ah,
Rico Verhoeven had his
ah.
mouthpiece slip off, and now he goes over to the corner, gets a mouthpiece replaced. Oh man, this is some interesting action here in round
This is a
4.
very interesting fight, James.
Yep, and I mean, so we got all of this action here going on between these two fighters here before we get to the close of round 4. Oh man, this has been a very, very intriguing bout here. Like I
Once
said, I mean, I'm trying to
again,
see
it's
like if
Alexander Usyk peppering his man, getting ready for the 5th round and beyond.
fifth round and beyond. I mean, it's going to be,
Here to there says Usyk dialing in that uppercut with Rico
yeah,
leaning in.
yep,
And,
that's right.
once again, we stated, guys, Usyk is the chameleon in the ring. He
Hmm.
adapts and he overcomes. Let's see if he
That's
can do
right.
this with the
That's
very
right.
unorthodox Rico Verhoeven.
Yeah. So we're gonna see like how this thing goes here that as we go into round 5 now. We got the thing for round 5 with Rico. We still throwing again, has the movement still on his toes and throwing those jabs. So he's still staying with that strategy of going to his left, Usyk's right to get away from Usyk's left hand. But you got Usyk that's now being a little bit more active with his jabs, and he tried to catch him with a left hand counter but missed. I think that's mainly because of Rico being at the stance where he's at instead of being upright. All right, now they're in the ropes, clinching in the ropes here. Rico's trying to move around Usyk, and they get broken up by the ref. All right, here we go. All right, we got southpaw jab from Usyk, still movement there from Rico Verhoeven here in round five. They got what is it? Coppinger has Usyk with that 1 point lead. Well, not 1 point lead, but had the win in the fourth round. But he had Rico winning round 1 through 3. All right,
Wow.
lead left. Excuse me, lead right. There from
Rico now
Rico.
trying to make this an
Yeah,
very uncomfortable and physical
yeah,
fight in
very,
close quarters.
very,
And
yeah. That's
but
right.
this is a fight, guys.
Yeah, it is. And you see, and still Rico. I'm like looking at his his endurance here and him moving around the ring. He's still staying on his toes. I think that's big for him. All right, he attempts a combination there, try to finish with the left hook, but miss
Are you
with the left
saying
hook.
me, myself, and Irene is on his toes?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. And that's what it
Woo!
is, man. He's like saying, they're from distance. 1 minute left. Got 1 minute left here in round five. You got Rico that attempted the right hand there. You got a double jab from Alexander Usyk. I think Rico tried to do a feint in order to land a shot. Now he's attempting a combination, but didn't really land anything with that. All right, 45 seconds left. Alexander Usyk, landing the jab and then try to get a short left in to land, but didn't really impact Rico that much. Um, all right, we got more jabs here from Rico Verhoeven here with 30 seconds left in the fifth round. A lead right from Rico, jab from Usyk. All right, here we go. Got still trying to see what happens here within the last 20 seconds. Combination attempted by Usyk, miss. Counter left hand by Usyk. Kind of like laying at the top of the head there for Rico
Mm.
Verhoeven. All right, got another jab from Usyk. Try to fake to the left hand, but miss from Alexander Usyk. Here with a few seconds left in the fifth round, and a jab landed by Rico Verhoeven before the end of the fifth round.
Look, I'll say this, guys. Through 5 rounds, Rico Verhoeven has a much more intelligent fight plan than Daniel Dubois.
Oh yeah, wow, without question.
This
But
is an actual fight, guys.
yeah, it's an actual fight.
And I love to see it. And
Yeah.
great job, Big James, thus far. Keep it coming.
Man, I wish I could have did this thing here with I'm surprised they didn't show live odds yet. You know, I'm surprised they haven't shown live odds yet.
I wonder why. Because right now, Usyk is losing this fight. And
Yes,
yes,
he
I'm going to
is.
say it. He's losing this fight.
He's losing this fight. Yep. And I don't know, if what they scored round five, but now they're going into round
So
six.
once again, one of my keys to victory was you cannot let Alexander Usyk dictate the pace of
Dictate
this
their
fight.
pace of the fight. And hey, you got
Rico Verhoeven is not allowing that to happen.
yeah,
We'll
that's
see
what he
what
did.
happens now. We're going past round number
Round six.
5.
Now we're in
Can
round
Rico
six.
Verhoeven keep up this pace?
Yeah,
We'll
now
see it. James
he
with the
he
call.
has to see if he could continue to be first, and he's trying to go back to being landing or throwing a jab here. But you got Alexander Usyk that's trying to go around that jab. Now he throws a 3 punch combination, didn't necessarily land, but you still have Rico Verhoeven still with the constant movement, and now he's throwing combinations there in close quarters. They broke away from close quarters. All right, still throwing the jab there with Rico Verhoeven. He's still, like I said, he's continuously moving over to his left, still doing that. I don't know, man. I haven't seen like Usyk kind of adjust to that and try to
No,
like
he's
cut
being
around that point.
disrupted by
Yeah,
the unorthodox
yep.
style of Rico Verhoeven.
And now they're in a clinch there, and Rico
He can't
like
get
throws a few
comfortable
punches. He can't get comfortable, and it's not like he's doing something to adjust to that movement of
because he,
Rico throwing off to
and
his
I'll
left.
tell you why, because he doesn't know whether or not Rico's going to come forward or stay there from mid
Yeah.
range.
All right. So now we got Rico just still moving his arms there, and you just have Usyk throwing 1 punch, but it's more like Rico throwing combinations there, and for Usyk, we got to see what he's going to be doing here in this instance. All right, he tries to set up a feint there, Usyk, but he didn't throw a shot. Another foot feint, nothing. All right, here we go. We got 120 left in the sixth round. More movement here from Rico Verhoeven. All right, and there it is. A double jab from Alexander Usyk. and you still got Rico moving over to his left, and he's continuously doing that. So
Beautiful.
I think he's going to be able to do this for most of the rest of the fight.
You know,
I feel like he
honestly,
is.
I can't see him. I don't see him losing speed, losing
Yeah,
tenacity.
no, he's
I
not.
think he's
Yeah,
fighting, honestly, a very intelligent fight at this
yes,
point.
he is. He is. He is. All right, he does get hit with the left hand counter there, but it's like 40 seconds left in the sixth round. There hasn't really been that much action here in this round, but you did see a couple of jabs landed here from Rico Verhoeven right there. 30 seconds left. All right, left hand lead from Alexander Usyk. He's looking like he's trying to walk him down. Let's see
Guys,
what
I
he
can tell
does.
you right now what's happening.
It's double jab,
Uh,
and then he lands in the left hand, Alexander Usyk.
Rico
More
Verhoeven is trying to
more
frustrate Usyk
activity.
into making a mistake.
Yeah. And so more activity there from Rico Verhoeven. He throws out a jab, flicks out a jab there. 10 seconds left in the sixth round. Alexander Usyk is pursuing Rico Verhoeven. Verhoeven tries to throw right to the body, but didn't land, and that will be the end of the sixth round. And they wrap it up before
Brother,
going to the corners.
Usyk is starting to get frustrated.
Yep,
I'm
he
seeing
is.
that right now.
Hmm.
And this is unusual for Alexander Usyk.
It
I've
is
never
unusual
seen
for
this.
him.
Have you?
No, I have not. And the thing is, I'm not seeing him kind of like adjust to the movement of Rico Verhoeven. Like
We
you're
haven't
seeing
seen it.
Rico, yeah. We have like Rico is continuously, moving to his left, Usyk's right. So I want to see if Usyk can try to get his lead foot, the right foot, around Rico's left foot, and I haven't quite seen that yet. You know, but now we're
Guys,
going
we're
into round
midway through
seven.
the fight. How do you see it, James?
Man, it could be 4 rounds to two or 5 rounds to one for Rico right now.
Wow. That's
It,
shocking, brother.
all right, here we go. We're getting on to the start of round seven. It's going to be round seven. Here we go. Let's tap it up. Tap it up here for the start of round seven. All right, still more movement here from Rico Verhoeven. He's throwing out the jabs, throwing out the jabs. I think it's more of, all right, I'm trying to see here how the feet are. All right, it looks like Usyk has the thing on the outside of Rico, but you still see the activity there from Rico Verhoeven with the jabs, continuously throwing the jabs and with the movement. You know what I mean? So we got the movement there from Rico, and he's still, just given that instance where he's never been stationary, never. All right. You got Alexander Usyk, trying to throw the jab, and then Rico attempts a combination and backs Usyk up there a little bit. Usyk throws a jab, throws another jab. All right. Now got him in a headlock. All right. Now Rico comes towards him. All right. Here it is. Rico Verhoeven. Like I said, it's more of his movement, constant movement. That's throwing off the timing of Alexander Usyk. It's you know what? It's like Alexander Usyk is fighting Alexander Usyk.
Yep. He's disrupting his timing and rhythm.
Hey,
We
yo.
told you guys that this was going to be a much more interesting fight than you thought.
Yeah, man. It's like it's like he watched Alexander Usyk and
He's
said, I'm gonna
frustrating
copy it,
Alexander Usyk with the
copy it,
constant movement.
yeah, and copy it Alexander Usyk. Oh man. All right, so we got him. He tries to land a right hand there to back up Alexander Usyk. It's about minute 12 left in the seventh round. He had a combination thrown by Alexander Usyk, and Rico tried to land a counter right hand. Throws the left hand there, Rico Verhoeven, but he keeps throwing the jab in. We're not seeing much behind those punches from Alexander Usyk there. All right, we got under a minute left here in the seventh round. This could be pretty big as to who could take this round. 1-2 by Alexander Usyk, but didn't really land flush on Rico Verhoeven. 40 seconds left. Rico still throwing jabs, whether it's upstairs or to the body. You got Alexander Usyk moving around, throws a lead left. You still got Rico continuously moving to his left and just staying active with his upper body. Under 30 seconds left here in the seventh round. You could say that it's up in the air as far as like who would be able to take the round. Jab there from Rico Verhoeven. All right. And he tries to land in the right hand while he's going in close quarters. Usyk tries to back up Rico Verhoeven with the left hand. Got under 10 seconds left here, and got a number of just looking at each other, and that is the end of the seventh round with both of them in the clinch as they try to land power shots.
After 7, how is Usyk faring against me, myself, and Irene Rico Verhoeven?
That seventh round would be really interesting to see how it's scored because I really didn't see that much significant punches landed. And I have to, say if they would give Usyk that particular round. But I'm telling you, it's really, really intriguing right now. It really is. But like I said during that round, it's like Alexander Usyk is fighting Alexander Usyk at 6'5". Because I'm telling you, what
Guys,
I'm
and you
looking
thought
at
this
is
was going to be a wipeout. We told you otherwise. He's got the mindset of a winner, and he's got the
yeah, like,
experience sparring with all the best in boxing.
mhm.
Guys, this is a fight.
Yeah, it's an
This
absolute
is a
fight.
fight. This is a tactical chess match with both guys have the mindset to win.
Yep.
We'll see what happens in round number 8.
Here we go. Start of round 8. All right, we got both of them just moving around, moving around. Double jab attempted from Rico Verhoeven. Lead left, Robert Alexander Usyk. All right, here we go. We got we trying to throw jabs to see who will be able to land with the jab. A couple of lead lefts here from Alexander Usyk. All right, and we got and hey, they say the punch stats is almost identical. Like, they tried to trade power shots right there. All right, here we go. Jab by Usyk. Lead left by Usyk. Let's see what he does. He's trying to move his head around. Combination attempted there from Rico, but before they get into a clinch. And they're in the clinch. You're seeing we're going to get out of the clinch, and the referee's saying, all right, he push out of the clinch. All right, they resume. Double jab attempted there from Rico. Another jab attempted by Rico. Lead left from Alexander Usyk. Now he's starting to move around to his right, Alexander Usyk. All right, so now here we go. Oh, but he gets hit with a right hand from Rico Verhoeven that sends him back a little bit. And another right hand lands, and he's going
Wow.
in with some combinations there, Rico Verhoeven, to back Usyk up to the ropes. Oh, man, that could be a big, big part here for this 8th round in favor of Rico Verhoeven.
Holy
All right.
cow.
Yeah, so now here we go. We got Rico Verhoeven still, moving around, moving his head, moving his arms, moving his legs. And he's still, having a thing there where the timing is off for Alexander Usyk. All right. Now we got Alexander Usyk looking like he's trying to go on his lead foot there and have his lead foot on the outside of Rico Verhoeven. See how that would work and see if he would move to his right. Double left and then a right hand attempted by Rico, but all of them missed. I'm in it left here in the 8th round, and now you got Alexander Usyk, trying to mix up the high guard there to counter with the jab of Rico Verhoeven, and then he tries to attempt the left hand, but is a little bit short. All right, Alexander Usyk tries to land in the jab. Rico looks like he's backing up, but he's still, bouncing around on his toes. But he gets hit with a left hand while jumping back. Now it's more about them trying to swing power shots here. 30 seconds left here in the 8th round. All right, we got Rico Verhoeven still, moving his arms here and things like that. Like his movement has been constant. It has been consistent over the course of this fight so far. All right, and we got 15 seconds left here in the 8th round. He lands an left uppercut from Alexander Usyk, but he gets hit with a right hand himself, and they get in the clinch there in the ropes, and he said timeout. All right, we got a timeout here. He's talking with Rico Verhoeven before the end of this round. Let's see what happens here.
What is going on here, James? How do you have this fight scored with 2/3 of the fight gone?
You could have Rico with 5 rounds.
Holy shit.
I don't think it can't be. It can't. It's not even. It's not even. It's not like there's. I don't have. I don't have him ahead. There. I mean. Usyk with
Okay,
more than
from where
4
I'm
rounds.
sitting, I have this scored 5 rounds to 3.
Yeah, it could be 5
Rico
rounds.
Verhoeven.
Yeah, it could be 5 rounds to 3, or it could be 6 rounds to 2. We could
Wow.
definitely have that. We could have
Say
six
it ain't
rounds to
so,
two.
brother.
We could have
Usyk,
that.
wake up, my friend.
We
You
could
better
definitely
start
have that.
being assertive.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So we're gonna have that. All right, here we go. We're going into round nine. Round 9.
Rounds left, Usyk. Come on, brother.
Let's see what he got. Let's see if the movement of Rico slows down a bit.
It
Um,
hasn't slowed down thus far.
no, it has not. All right, you see Usyk kind of like pursuing him. Now
Pinch
he's
me,
starting to throw the
James. I
jab.
must be dreaming.
Hey man, I'm telling you, man, this is gonna be
Dude, this
insane.
is a fight.
Yes, it is. It is a
Someone had
fight.
better wake up Usyk and tell him this is a real fight and his titles are on the line.
Yeah, it is a real fight, but again, yeah, it's the heavyweight division, but when you're going up against a fighter that might be able to take your punch. Oh man, and he gets hit with a right hand, and now he has Usyk to the ropes and lands to the body there, but now he has the referee break it up. But you're seeing Alexander Usyk getting caught with
Oh
the
my
right hand of
gosh.
Rico Verhoeven. All right, we got 2 minutes left here in the ninth round, and you're
What
seeing
is
like
going
Alexander
on,
Usyk.
James?
Again, like I said, it's Alexander Usyk facing Alexander Usyk. All right, so now we got Usyk. He's throwing a double jab. He's throwing a double jab and he's moving around. Let's see here. We got Rico Verhoeven. He's trying to continue this his movement. All right. More here from Alexander Usyk, throwing the jab, pulling out the jab. Now he tries to land the left hand. There we got almost halfway through the ninth round. And Rico tries to land here a right hand. And now he's trying to go up after Alexander Usyk, landing a shot left uppercut there while Usyk was backing up to the ropes. Oh man, now we got another clinch. The referee breaks it up. And let's see here what's going on with Alexander Usyk.
Do you notice
All
Usyk
right.
now moving to his right, trying to force?
Yeah, he's been moving to his right ever since the eighth round. Now, here we go.
Dude, he's trying to force Rico
Now
into that
he's trying
left
to land.
hand.
Yeah, he is. But now here we go. We got Alexander Usyk. Now he's trying to be on his toes, just like Rico Verhoeven is. But here we go. We got this thing here. All right, a lead right from Rico Verhoeven. And then here we go. We got this thing going on here. All right, Alexander Usyk, throwing the left jab. And we got 45 seconds left in the ninth round. This is up in the air as far as but another right hand looks like it landed from Rico Verhoeven. All right, here we go. We're getting close to 30 seconds left in the ninth round. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we got. All right, 30 seconds left. Alexander Usyk looking like he's trying to walk down Rico Verhoeven, but he hasn't really landed punches there. So he's almost looking like he's being very tentative there. More activity from Rico Verhoeven with the jab. And Usyk tries to land the left hand. All right, here we go. About 10 seconds left here in the ninth round. A feint from Rico Verhoeven and another feint. And now we're getting to the close of this round. And here we go. Nothing from either fighter there to close the round. All right, here we go. All right, hey, real quick. I'm gonna see here. You got me on the queue here on the other side. Can you see if we could switch to that?
What's up?
Can you switch
Yes,
to?
yes, I
Yeah,
can.
let's do that real quick.
All right.
We hear you, Big James.
All right, great. Now you'll be able to
Yes,
hear me right
sir.
now.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
that's awesome.
Hold on. Let's see
All
this.
right. Now, I mean, we're
Here to
man.
there says,
We are
can't believe
almost
we're seeing this. Rico is 10 minutes away from one of the greatest upsets in history. And
in the
Jesus M.
history.
Oh, the positive Jesus M. I told you, fake bouts. Usyk
This is
stuffed his hands in his pocket with
Benjamin.
Benjamins. Come on, brother.
He said cashing out. Come on, man.
You gotta
Come on.
love the commentary from the sidelines. Yes,
Oh man, here we go, man.
James, great job thus far. Keep it going, brother.
Round 10.
Great
All right,
job,
here we go.
James. Keep it going.
Alexander Usyk. All right, he's throwing the leave left hand. Oh, and
He's
throwing
got to
another
do
leave left.
something.
He's got, he's trying to land with
He's
more
got to
accuracy
do
here.
something, James.
All right, here we go. All right, man, I'm just still like impressed with Rico Verhoeven's movement over the course of the,
Smart
and
guy.
that's really, gotten
Mindset of a winner.
Yeah, exactly. Now here we are. All right, you have Usyk that's been
Mike
able to land a
Coppinger
couple of.
has him up big.
Oh
Usyk
yeah,
needs a knockout on the scorecards of Mike Coppinger.
yeah, I can see that. It's the activity there of Rico Verhoeven has been, the key there for this one. All right, here we go. Going up to 2 minutes left here in the 10th round. You got the movement there from Alexander Usyk, but also from Rico Verhoeven. So, like I said, that has thrown off the timing there for Alexander Usyk. And a constant movement there continuously by Rico Verhoeven, whether he's throwing punches or not, it's still throwing off the timing there. And I think he's had the reach. The reach advantage has been very key too.
Yep.
And it's been giving him the ability to land shots and the right hand. And he landed the right hand around the guard of Alexander Usyk there while we're getting close to halfway through the 10th round. All right, here we go. Rico Verhoeven starting to step forward there on Alexander Usyk. Tried to throw punches and land to the body. He throws the right hand upstairs to Usyk. He does a feint up and down, just up and down with the movement there of Rico Verhoeven. All right, here we go. He's still, trying to see if he can land the shot there. And he tries to land the right hand there on Alexander Usyk and then gets close and then is able to get into a clinch. We're getting close to a minute left in the 10th round. A punch to the body from Rico Verhoeven. And
Dude,
then he's
needs a knockout to win.
Yeah. All right. And then a right hook there from Alexander Usyk. But it's still the movement there of Rico Verhoeven that is getting us here. All right, here we go. Another punch there landed from Rico Verhoeven. Double jab attended from Alexander Usyk. All right, and he backs up Usyk to the ropes there, gets him in close quarters. All right, and then they try to swing out of it. 30 seconds left in the 10th round, and you see a left uppercut attempted there from Alexander Usyk, and then a left hook, another uppercut, and another left hook. Landed a couple of shots there from Alexander Usyk. He's landed a couple left hands on Rico Verhoeven, another one, and then he's trying to get to Rico Verhoeven. But let's see what happens here. He's landed. It's about 13 seconds left in the 10th round. But is Rico Verhoeven affected by these shots from Alexander Usyk? He has him in a clinch. He's trying to see Usyk trying to break out of the clinch. He does, and then he gets hit with a right hand, and then it's the end of the 10th round.
Wow. And look, my apologies for screaming on this, but I can't help it. As you guys were watching it live, and this is shocking, quite honestly.
Yeah,
but it sounds like it's a positive round for Alexander Usyk in round 10.
It's a positive round for Alexander Usyk in round 10, but like you were saying, he might need a knockout or
I'm telling you. He needs a knockout, guys. Unless we got Ray Charles scoring the fight.
Yeah. So it's really, but the thing is like you still have those instances where Rico Verhoeven is landing the right hand.
Well, or Adelaide Bird or Levi Martinez scoring the fight.
Yeah, Adelaide Bird.
Did I just say that out loud? James doing a great job, brother. Let's go.
Round 11.
Here we go.
Round 11.
Cross.
All right. Double jab there from Rico Verhoeven attempted. And then the left hand tried to get through the guard there from Alexander Usyk to Rico Verhoeven. All right. We got Rico Verhoeven. He's like backing up a little bit, but he's still, constantly moving his upper body. And he's up still on his toes. Left attempted from Alexander Usyk. And a left hand there that looked like it landed from Alexander Usyk there. Double jab attempted from Rico Verhoeven. Another jab, and then he tries to follow through with the right. And he got it, man. It was a 98-92 unofficial scorecard there from Mike Coppinger. All right. Punch to the body landed from Rico Verhoeven. And he's continuously just moving that upper body, moving his hands, moving his upper body.
This is crazy.
You know what I mean? So, all right, here we go. We still see. All right, since it's the championship rounds, let's see what Rico Verhoeven does.
Are we really seeing this?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. This is happening live. All right. And we got a triple jab attempted there from Rico Verhoeven. And we got Alexander Usyk. He tries to land in the left hand. Another left hand landed there from Alexander Usyk. Rico is stepping back. Another left hand attempted there from Alexander Usyk. Tries to land in it with a combination. He's trying to land those left hands. He tries to follow through with a right hook to land on Rico Verhoeven. And Rico Verhoeven is still like coming forward and lands a left jab, stiff left jab, and then goes to the body with the right hand. He has Usyk there on the ropes, and then lands an uppercut close on the ropes there, and now pushes Alexander Usyk back to the ropes there. And now we got a little bit of a breakup there, but now we get to resume the action. It's about 1 minute and 10 seconds left here in the 11th round. Now here we are. We got Rico Verhoeven trying to land the left right hand. A combination attempted there from Alexander Usyk. All right, a double jab there from Rico Verhoeven. And a more head movement. And we tried to land a right hand on Alexander Usyk and tried to catch him. Oh man, there. All right, here we are. We got 45 seconds left in the 11th round. Attempt to the body from Rico Verhoeven with the right hand. He tries to land the left or goes around with the right hand. I don't know if that landed though. All right, here we are, man. We're getting close to 30 seconds left in the 11th round. Three jabs there from Rico Verhoeven. 2 uppercuts from Alexander Usyk. Oh, and he gets hit with a right uppercut and puts down Rico Verhoeven. It's 15 seconds left in the 11th round, but Rico gets up. And now, here it is. Could this fight be changed with that knockdown? What's going on right now? Oh, they're putting him over to the corner. He may have lost his mouthpiece, and they're putting his mouthpiece back together. There's only like 10 seconds left in the round. What's going on here? There's only 10 seconds. The 11th round. Can Usyk get this? Oh, no. Before the end of the round, he's going to come in. Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Oh, they stopped it. They stopped it. They stopped it. You gotta be kidding me. They stopped the fight. Alexander Usyk gets a crazy stoppage knockout win in the 11th round. He stays undefeated.
Yes!
Wow. He gets it done with about 5 seconds left in the 11th round. Can you believe it? We were
Yes, I can't believe it. Boxing reigns supreme. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Take that, kickboxing. Boxing is better.
Now remember, you had the unofficial scorecard at around 98 to 92 in favor of Rico Verhoeven. I was saying that it was Alexander Usyk looking like he was in there against Alexander Usyk. But then he was able to catch Rico Verhoeven in the past couple of rounds with the left hand, but then was able to score that knockdown there before a minute was left in the 11th round to score the knockdown.
Unbelievable, James.
Great
job, brother. Great job. I tell you what.
Got him with a combination and landed a left and right hook there to put him to the canvas. Oh, man. That was it. It was just him landing a right uppercut, and then that uppercut just put Rico Verhoeven to the canvas and knocked off his mouthpiece. And, man, Rico Verhoeven got up, and he was able to get the mouthpiece replaced, but then he just couldn't weather the onslaught there from Alexander Usyk, and the referee steps in.
Wow, what an amazing spectacle, James. Great job, brother. But I will say this.
Like they say, boxing is a theater of the unexpected.
Yes, it is. And here to there says, what did we just watch? As you stated, Joseph, you can't get that from watching the Super Bowl. Yes. And I stand by that.
The Super Bowl. You can't get it from a national championship game. You can't, listen. I was in attendance in Atlanta, Georgia in 2016 for the college football playoff national championship between Alabama and Georgia. They're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I was, not 2016, it was 2018. So I was there when they had Alabama win by overtime with that touchdown throw. You like that? Nah, you don't get what we just saw. You don't get that in a football game.
Dude, that's amazing. Guys, dude, all credit to Alexander Usyk for pulling it out. And he was behind, guys.
He was
Make no
behind.
mistake
Oh
about it. He was
man,
behind. Once again, he found a way to win, and that's the
found a way to
majesty
win.
of Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, that is it, man. It's like out of nowhere, man. I don't know, man. What could be a fight? I can't even think of a fight where it was like this type of a situation.
Dude, that's
Uh,
amazing.
Man, I can't think of one there like that quick, but geez, that was like absolutely insane. I know that the people there in attendance is like absolutely astounded by what just happened. Absolutely astounded because that
I'll say
was
this. I'll say this. Nico or Rico Verhoeven looked spent. The stoppage was just. Yes,
yeah,
the
yeah,
stoppage was just.
yeah. I mean,
Usyk was
he was
having his
spent,
way. Yes.
but I mean, he really made a great
What a
effort of
great fight, guys, we
it.
just witnessed.
The thing was,
And this
man,
is the majesty of Alexander Usyk pulling one out of the bag to adapt and overcome. And this is how good Alexander Usyk is, James.
you just can't. It's like no matter how down he could be, no matter how it could look like it's unsuccessful, he's not completely thrown off of his game.
This is incredible. Like, honestly, what an amazing fight we just saw. Guys, once again, you cannot count out the heart of a champion. In the immortal words of the late, great Rudy T of the Houston Rockets, never count out the heart of a champion.
Listen, what did you say about this fight before this? You said it was going to be like a very underrated fight. Like people
Yep.
do not know about how hard Rico Verhoeven worked for this particular fight against Alexander Usyk. And you've seen two guys there. I mean, you could say it like you've seen two guys there that showed in different ways that they just don't know how to lose. You just have to have a moment like this happen in order
Yep.
for someone to like get a win
Both
because
men had the mindset of a winner.
yeah.
And unfortunately, one had to be coronated. And this was incredible.
Oh
That
man,
right
I
hand
know.
uppercut of Alexander Usyk caught
Wait a minute.
Rico Verhoeven coming in, and Usyk just finished the job. Credit
Wait a
to
minute.
him.
I know that we have contact with um with Thomas Triber.
Yep.
But I'm going to see if I could get in contact with somebody else that was there. And I didn't notice that he was there until the weigh-ins. But he is a supervisor of the International Boxing Federation, and that's Rob
Mm.
Scott.
Whoa.
So
From
he's
New Jersey.
he's yes from Jersey. That's right. That's right. So yeah, once he gets back, I'm gonna get in contact with him because like he was there front and center to watch this. You know what I mean?
And so here to there says agreed, JR. Rico
Listen,
showed his championship pedigree. This is only 2 weeks after Dubois and Wardley. This sport is hard to beat. Dude,
man,
look, look.
we've had what did we have? In the first 2 weeks of this year,
Woo!
we had that upset that happened at the Barclays Center there, for Dalton Smith to win that title there,
Yep.
by knockout. Then you have a couple of weeks later, you have the event there at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
February, you have Ryan Garcia defeat Mario Barnes for the WBC welterweight title. March, you had the thing there as far as like big events with Thurman ended up getting stopped and by Sebastian Fundora. April, you have Fury coming back. You had the fight between White versus Wilder that was very underrated.
Mhm.
and now you go
Chisora
into
versus
May.
Wilder.
Oh, Chisora, yeah, Chisora versus Wilder. Yeah, that's right. Um, and now you see this, and it's not you're not even halfway through the year yet.
Yes,
Like I've
this
said,
is great,
like some of the
guys.
stuff
And
that were
boxing.
on the schedule for this year, some of the stuff that's been on the schedule for this year has it like it's 2023. That was a big year in boxing, 2023. Oh man, here we go. Oh, I thought that was Turkey. I'll see you say that. Oh man, he'll probably go say, hey, look, you did great. Alexander Usyk, you're a great fighter, a great champion, but you fight, Agit Kabiel. You fight.
Hold on. My brother Terrell says, I want to see Zhang versus Moses. Holy shnikes.
You
look,
know,
look,
if
look.
Moses, yeah, if
No. Let
Moses
me just,
didn't had an injury,
James, let me just put this to rest, right?
mm-hmm.
It's in his contract. We're going to
uh,
see Philip Hrgovic versus Moses Italma. And that's going to be coming up in August. Okay? Understand, we're in this business and we're telling you from inside information that we're going to see Philip Hrgovic versus Moses Italma in August. Put it to rest. Don't bring up anything else. But
oh
yes,
man,
I agree. Zhang is a problem for anyone at his age. Yes,
I
I
big
agree.
I big bang. I big bang.
I
I'm not gonna
bang
say the other
everything.
part. I'm not gonna say the other part. I'm
Woo!
not doing
James,
it.
great
Man,
job, brother. Great job calling the fight. I loved it. I
goodness,
loved it.
man.
It was a joy hearing you call the fight and me just being the Larry Merchant. It was beautiful. Thank you, brother. Woo!
Heavyweight boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Heavyweight
Oh,
boxing.
I love it, guys. What a great fight. What a great spectacle. What a great event on the biggest stage. And you know what? Bring it on, guys. Bring it on. More of the events. Canelo versus Mbili Garcia. Oh, versus Conor Ben. Bring it on, guys. Alexander
This.
Usyk had his hands full
Hey,
tonight,
and I
and he
didn't even
found a way to
mention,
win.
and I'm talking about 2026, and I didn't even mention the performance of David Benavidez against Zurdo Ramirez. And I think you had actually, I don't know if this fight, you know what, this Usyk Verhoeven fight can be a candidate for fight of the year so far this year. You had one a couple of weeks ago between Wortley and
Oh my
Dubois.
goodness.
You
When you
had one on
consider
March
the
13th.
level, when you
You had one on
consider
March
the
13th
level, that's
on
not
Pro Box
unheard
with
of.
Najee Lopez.
Yep.
You had another one that was on that May 2nd card. I gotta pull up the two fighters there where the fighter that
Marte
won like
versus
won by
Fierro.
knockout. Oh no, the Fierro. Oh nah, it was oh shoot, what it was because I gotta look that up because
Yeah.
it was oh man, let me see if I could get that joint there real quick because that one was
The one
it
right
ended up
before
being
it, right?
which one?
The one right before it, right?
Yeah, Chavez versus Sanchez. That
Yes.
fight right there. Oh man, that was an awesome bout and ended up with Sanchez winning by TKO in the last round. That was another awesome fight. Again, this is 2026 boxing in 2026. There, man, and we haven't gone through 6 full months. We haven't gone through 5 full months yet. We still got like one more week, right? So, goodness, man, you gotta love boxing, all right? You gotta love boxing. Whew.
Oh my goodness. I love it, guys. And I'm getting a text right now from Thomas Triber, and he's like, what a fight. What a fight. What an outcome. Boxing flourishes on this big stage.
I'm
Thank
telling you,
you. Thank you, Turkey El Sheikh. Thank you, Ring Magazine. Thank you, Sella. Thank you for everyone involved. Thank you, Big James, for calling this fight brilliantly. Outstanding job. Outstanding job, brother. I couldn't have done it any better. Great job, my friend. So, what do we have to look forward to on the boxing schedule, Big James?
Well, we mentioned a thing there as far as like Houston for May 30th.
Yep.
So, we got that's coming up on May 30th there with um with Oshaki Foster defending his title against Raymond Ford. So that's going to be something there for fight fans to look forward to. And then we getting into June. Of course, we have the big fight there at the end of June. There with Xander Zayas versus
Well,
Jerron
don't forget
Usyk.
next week, guys, on the zone, we've got from Russia Dmitry Bivol coming back,
Yeah,
facing and defending his titles against Michael Eifert. We
IBF
also
mandatory challenger.
we also have June 13th from
Yeah.
Glendale, Arizona, aka Phoenix, Antonio Vargas defending his title at 118 against Jesse Bam Rodriguez. We also
Hmm.
have guys in June 27th, Xander Zayas versus Duran Butsenis. Oh boy. Dude, this
Oh
is
man, we supposed to have also, or at least there for the welterweight division. You do have on June 24th there, Lewis Crocker versus Liam Paro in
yes,
Brisbane. So
yes,
we got a
yes,
lot
guys.
of action
We've
coming
got a
up.
lot of action coming up, guys. This is incredible. Guys, honestly, I and once again, we tried to prepare you guys for this. Um Rico Verhoeven, despite his inexperience in the ring, he's got the mindset of a winner and prepared with some of the best fighters in boxing. And it showed. Like this was a real fight, guys. And
Yeah,
credit to Alexander Usyk for adapting and finally getting this guy out of there. Because it looked like for a second that we were going to see a new champion coronated.
oh yeah,
but
oh
but
yeah, most definitely.
look, just like I stated when we were calling the fights, remember James, when we were calling the fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, the first one. Remember, I stated, guys, Alexander Usyk, every great fighter makes adjustments, adapts, and overcomes. And
Yeah,
Usyk is a great fighter. Don't count him out, guys. And he came back and won that fight just like he did this one. This is a great fighter, guys. Alexander Usyk adapts and overcomes, and he is a credit to the sport. And it's a joy to watch him each and every time he steps in the ring.
yeah, man. Oh man, wait, I thought I did have Thomas's name there, man. I could send him a text, but I don't want to do that out there, man. He is, but
You
that's an
should.
absolute high man.
Thomas,
Um,
Thomas, Thomas is down, brother. You should. He's a great
yeah,
guy. And once again, man, I can't wait. Oh gosh, please. I don't even. Okay, look, July 4th, American Independence Weekend, Cleveland, Ohio. Abdullah Mason versus
Cleveland.
Medina, and Bruce Shushu Carrington versus Rene Palacios. That's a
Yep,
great fight weekend.
yep. And like I said, man, before with Derek Scooter Davis being on that card, so you're gonna
Mhm.
see a lot of young talent being
And
featured.
don't forget the comeback of Anthony Joshua, July 25th in
Yep.
Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is a Riyadh season event. Anthony Joshua versus Kristen Prenga, the knockout artist. We'll see. And guys, on the following day from PBC pay per view and Prime Video in Australia, Errol Spence Jr. makes his comeback against Timmy Zoo with Ronnie Shields in the corner of Errol Spence Jr. Hold on. Here to there says Rico has earned another big opportunity. Where does he go next, Big James? What say you?
Oh, oh, man, I don't know. what can they set him up with? Would it be by the end of this year? I don't know.
He didn't take a lot of damage. I don't
He
think.
didn't. He didn't. To be honest with you, he didn't. Um,
Why not? Why not stick him in the ring with Agit Kabayel?
well, I didn't see what they were saying on audio because that's why I was,
Uh-oh.
imitating
Uh-oh. Nick
Turkey.
says, and thank you for joining us, sir. Rep over Rico. Woo!
hey, listen. Hey, you can have some of that being brought up because think about it. It was under 5 seconds in the 11th
I
round.
know. But here's my retort. Did you see any complaints from
Nope,
Rico
you didn't.
Verhoeven's corner?
Nope, you didn't.
Nope.
You didn't.
He was hurt, guys.
Yeah.
He was hurt, and he spat out the mouthpiece intentionally. Once again,
Yeah, that first knockdown,
a veteran move by Rico.
Yeah.
Guys,
That uppercut.
a great fight. A great fight. And we look forward to all the great fights on the calendar, including Riyadh season, Canelo Alvarez versus Christian Mbili on September 12th. And also, oh boy, on September 26th, the rematch Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao on Netflix. Guys, this is going to be a great year. Hold on, real quick. Here to there says Caballero was pushing for the shot against Usyk while Rico was asking for the rematch. Usyk said he will do whatever Turkey likes.
Oh,
I'm telling you, Caballero is going to be fighting Rico Verhoeven next. Let it be done. Or in the immortal words of the Pharaoh, right? In Egypt. So let it be written. So let it be done. There it is. There it is. Yes. James, great job. Your parting shots before we say goodbye to everyone on this wonderful evening of boxing.
yeah, just big thanks, brother Joseph Faber, being part of this commentary. I mean, of course, we had to wait a good little minute for this fight to take place, but we are very thankful that it ended up being the fight that it was. I mean, I don't think anybody expected it to be like this, and we just
Except
saw
us.
something. Yeah, but I mean, we did have the keys to the fight, and what Rico Verhoeven had to do in order to be successful, and he was doing it. And it just took that adjustment, as we always see from Alexander Usyk, to get the upper hand on his opponent. And this one, he was able to just get the knockdown and end up getting a stoppage victory. And like I said, this is instantly a candidate for fight of the year. And who would have expected that from a fighter that was coming into this as high as a 50-1 favorite in Alexander Usyk?
Unbelievable. And James, great job, brother. Great job once again. Hold on. Let me make this official. Hold on, dude. Hold on. Let me get this here. Hold on. Okay. Now I've got it. There he goes. James, great job, brother. What an incredible evening or day, wherever you're at, of boxing. Guys, on behalf of Big James from the Boxing Source, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to World Week Boxing. Have a great Saturday, everybody.
Time Boxing USA on War of Week Radio.